but everything else is waiting.
I went to go get my mail this morning, and our mailbox is inside because it's an apartment. I was still very cold going over there, and I had like 3 layers on. Feel bad for me as well, guys. I need that.
Yeah. We're feeling for you.
Sorry, Jan.
Yeah.
You know, this is these unprecedented times. There's nothing funnier to me when a dog falls into a hole, especially when it's like a small corgi and they fall into a gopher hole, and then they just get sad about it.
Or like when a dog tries to jump up onto a couch and they just biff it completely. Like, that's hilarious.
It's the best. It's the best. I'm not advocating for dogs to have accidents. It's just funny when they have little goofs because they're all a bunch of goofy little guys and gals.
Dogs are like one of the best animals at feeling shame because it takes a lot, it looks like, for them to feel shame. But when they do, it just makes it all the sweeter.
Oh, yeah. Gosh, we're a little light on games this week, mostly because stuff is under embargo.
Right. And we talked about Prince of Persia on Friday. But,
and we'll continue to talk about Prince of Persia today later. So, Sean, we asked you to be here today so we could talk about the most important game. And it's not really a game. It's a sport, really. It's sports entertainment.
Losing interest. Oh, really losing interest. Okay.
There we go. Yeah.
When all else fails and we need to pad out time, baby, we can always rely on wrestling.
Yes. I'll play along. I'll talk about wrestling with you guys.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah. Hey, when did Drew McIntyre get really interesting?
When did he get good at promos?
Yeah, like really good. It's when he just started like saying what he really thinks, I think. He's been very fascinating lately. And this weird character of like, he's kind of being booked as a heel, but he's not saying anything that's like unreasonable. Like that promo with Seth where he was talking about trying to make his parents proud, but then like having to, miss them. Like they passed while he was, plying his trade around the world. It's like, damn, this is like an interesting, nuanced heel.
I'm starting to believe that we're not going to finish the story this year.
Yeah, maybe not.
I could see a triple threat.
Oh,
sure.
Wait, I'm gonna miss the dog playing Gyromate on GDQ for this shit? What am I doing here?
It's the technology of 2 different tabs, Sean. 2 different tabs.
Yeah, you don't.
Y'all.
Is it really? Is the dog really playing Gyromate?
Yeah, dog's gonna play Euromite, Dan. I don't want to stop.
Sure. That sounds delicious. All right, yeah.
Tzatziki's sauce on that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But on top of that, you know who I'm loving even more than lately? R-Truth.
Oh my God, this weird ass Judgment Day stuff. Him selling bootleg shirts, the live, laugh, love shit. Tom and Nick Mysterio. He is fucking weird and hilarious. And I love watching the Judgment Day guys try not to corpse whenever he's doing his shit because everyone finds him fucking hilarious and is trying not to corpse whenever he's doing anything.
Yeah. This is how I would be fine if they break up the Judgment Day because of R-Truth. Because somehow Damian Priest is going to become best friends with R-Truth.
Well, he was into it when he got some money last night.
Yeah.
When he got his cut of the merch money.
He was super into it. I also feel bad for JD McDonough because he's not even on the fake shirt.
I know. R-Truth has numerous pieces of Judgment Day merch, but JD McDonough doesn't have shit.
Oh, man. Wrestling's in a good spot. Who knew if you just, kicked Vince to the side?
I hate that because it does make me want to watch like the weekly shows, which I've got to a point where I'm okay missing. But now I do feel like I'm missing out by not at least catching some of these. Even like watching or catching up on like Squared Circle and watching the GIFs doesn't really feel like enough anymore. So I'll probably put this on in the background now and play some games, I guess. I think that's what I got to do.
For many, many years, ever since like kind of like the Daniel Bryan type, that wrestle like 10 years ago or so, I was watching week to week. And pretty much since then, I've watched the occasional one or if there's a standout match or followed stuff just online or whatever. And like, I didn't even watch week to week when I was working there. And now it's like fucking 3-hour Raws. I'm watching from beginning to end. I'm like, God damn it. Everything is going places. Everyone's got a character. Everyone's got a feud. It's fucking good now.
We should do a Power Bombcast maybe right after the Rumble, right before.
I think after the Rumble when we have kind of a vision of what's going on with Mania. I think.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I know we chatted about this before, but like any updated picks on the Rumble winner? Sean, you go first.
Money.
The dude, the guy, right?
Wow, you think Punk's a dude?
The man has to win the women's Rumble.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, she's the smart money. Yeah. If Seth is hurt, which it sounds like he's probably okay from the reports I've been hearing.
Man, I've got
if Seth is actually hurt, then I think that the odds of Punk winning drastic go down. So we'll see then. Maybe then it's Drew or The Rock or who knows? But I think Punk's the smart money, assuming Seth is healthy. Yes.
Grub.
I have been watching much recently, so I assumed it was going to be Punk. That's what I've been assuming just from like glancing at everything.
Well, here's the thing, Grub. I distinctly remember it's probably the last Power Bombcast we did. Everyone was very, very sour on Punk, just like disappointed. I can't imagine him back in the WWE, and here I am, like a fucking mark, going like, I think Punk should win. Punk should main event night one. It makes sense.
To be clear, nothing we were saying back then has changed in terms of our thoughts on the dude and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but as far as he's always been a fascinating wrestling character, and part of that character is him just being him and all the drama and bullshit that comes with that. It makes for fascinating television, especially when there's the stuff with Rollins where there is real life beef between the two. It makes it feel much more real. So like, and he's been on good behavior because it's kind of his last chance, which Drew has been reminding him of. The drama feels real. He seems to be holding up his end. It's been good.
And, I know we talk about WWE a lot, but let me just say, TNA right now, or Impact Wrestling, I forget what they're calling themselves right now.
They're TNA again now.
They're TNA again. It's like, it's like building back up to where when like AJ Styles was like the big dog there and like their main horse, they're working themselves back up, and it's pretty impressive.
Sure. What's TNA stand for?
Jeff, I can't talk about that on this podcast. Come on, you know that.
Can you imagine if we went back in time to like 2020 and we told ourselves like, hey, in a few years, you're all going to be really hyped up on what WWE is doing. And also TNA comes up very positively and AEW is the one that's like really kind of struggling. Yeah. That said, Mojo is champion. Some of the new direction stuff, post all this devil bullshit, has been better, and it's going in the right direction. But there was that stretch during the end of the MJF reign that was not good at all.
Yeah. I can't believe MJF beat Jay White with like a bum leg coming out of an ambulance.
Interference and shit, and oh my god, yeah. That was dark times.
Someone also take Tony Khan's phone away, please.
Oh yeah, I can't pay attention to AEW until that happens.
I mean, it's just one of those situations where he's the boss, he's the guy. Like who's going to tell him? I'm sure people have tried and it didn't go well, so he's going to do what he's going to do. And it's
maybe his dad could take it away from him.
Yeah, he could.
All right, God. I guess we should eventually, since we're a video game podcast, we should talk about video games. Gonna hit the button for games.
What?
Now.
On Giant Bomb?
Started watching an anime, but that's not a game.
Ooh.
Maybe we'll talk about that later.
I started watching an anime too.
Okay, let's just talk about it now then. What anime are you watching?
I told you this one, Sean. I think the Starship Troopers, the 1988 one.
Oh, right.
It was like I was fascinated to find out there was a Starship Troopers anime based on the same book as the movie, and that movie's like one of my favorite movies of all time. It's a perfect movie. So I went to go check it out. I was like kind of blown away. I'm like, oh my god, the structure is almost exactly the same. It's a very 1980s anime, so it's got like the really weird pop needle drops, and then the animation's mostly stiff, and they save a lot of money on that stuff. But they still have like the dude standing in the wind and the jacket like flowing and all that stuff, which is really all I need from anime. If you do that, I'm all on board.
Yeah, I need shots of that of everyone on staff next time we're together. Okay, next time we're together, we're all taking a K-pop dance class. We're playing pickleball. Esports intro, and then cool jacket blowing in the wind intro.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
Jan, do you just want us to have an anime intro for Giant Bomb content? Is that what I'm hearing here?
I mean, anime has
just say yes.
Yes, just say yes.
Yeah. I'm just saying you put all those together. That's basically what you got. Feel like
actually
to something.
Yeah. This I can't wait till we have a tournament arc here on giantbomb.com. It makes everything better.
Tournament arc, let's go.
Pickleball tournament. If you missed last week's Bombcast Revengeance, we had a little review podcast of Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Go and listen to that. We had a lot of fun conversations, and generally, actually, completely, everyone really likes it. Grub, you've beat it. Sean, you're in the middle of it. I got
Yes.
stuck at a really dumb part, and I looked away from my Steam Deck and laughed. I'm an idiot. Grab,
Yeah,
how do you feel about it now?
Yeah, I love it. I still love it. I'm glad I beat it. I think the one thing you realize the deeper and deeper you get into it is like, oh, all of these like Athra abilities and all these boss fights are just some of the coolest looking things in a video game. They really go over the top with the excellent animations. A lot of stuff like I don't love the story, but I also like I don't hate the story. And anytime like the story hits, it's like, oh, this is pretty neat. It is very much like a bad Avatar, the Nickelodeon show, the animated show.
Okay.
It's like a bad one of those. Is kind of what it feels like, which isn't great. You want it to be good, but it's like there's a power up you get, an Athra ability you get, where basically you turn into Goku. But the way it works is like you're one of your friends that you meet and get in a fight with. Like he has this ability, so when you use this ability, it's actually you doing the same thing, and then like a shadow version of that friend doing it as well, and it just looks so slick and neat. And I'm like, okay, yeah, cool callback. And every time I do that, I get excited because it's a hype moment. But the game is it just feels so fantastic. Going into that final boss fight, I it's not like Metroid Dread's final boss fight where it's like, okay, this is a bunch of patterns you super duper have to memorize. It's a little bit like that, but it's not quite as challenging as that. But it's still like a very cinematic moment. And I was just all bought in at that point. So yeah, really just a huge fan of this game. Kind of easy recommendation. Yeah, I'm finishing up. Go ahead.
Also, more so than Dread, as far as like that last boss fight and everything. Like you can go in there and get your ass kicked, and then it's easy enough to get back out and like kind of tweak your amulets and things like that, and come back and be stronger.
Yeah,
which Dread it was not as easy to do that. So
right.
I thought the difficulty I thought was really perfectly tuned throughout, and I thought all the like super hard platforming sections that were really good, but not for everyone. They are typically optional things. There are challenging platforming sections that you have to do to beat the game, but like the really crazy like Champions Road type bullshit, I say bullshit lovingly, is optional.
Yeah, I found that Celeste B-side thing everyone was talking about with like the weights, the spiked weights.
Yeah.
That rules. That's so cool to be able to like to have a moment where it's like, hey, you've been doing these awesome platforming things this whole game. Do you really want to see if you can do it? And you have to get these three things all at once in one run and get back down to the ground. And I had a couple where I did it. I looked so cool. I was perfect. And right before I'm about to get back to the ground, I like hit a spike or I missed the ground platform because I thought the ground was wider. So I'm like just falling down into the ether, looking over at the ground right over there, just yelling curses at myself. It is so good. It's the idea here that they had so many of these really good elements from other games, and it's still up there with some of the best in all these different genres.
Yeah.
And then it's still a good Metroidvania on top of all that. That is the most impressive thing about Prince of Persia.
Yeah, I think they could have easily kept all the platforming stuff they've added and all the movement abilities, but like just go very basic with the combat, and it still would be a good game. The fact that like you have a very deep combat system where you can juggle dudes and then grab what you're talking about with like your shadow clone or even utilizing your weapons in a different way. Like Dan, like I'm glad that you mentioned to use the bow and arrow during combos because that has been absolutely essential, and I feel fucking amazing doing it.
It's also, you can really cheese shit too, where it's like some of those like flying pain in the ass enemies. You can park next to one of those arrow things, just like fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And like the entire fight is just that, and it totally works.
And like once you start like realizing like, oh, I'm having fun using the bow and arrow, it's like, oh, well, I have all those bow and arrow amulets that I've been ignoring. I'm just gonna do a bow and arrow build, and you can get super like even more powerful on top of what you already can do with that stuff. Have like flaming arrows and all that. All of it is very cool. And there are so many amulets that you really can have very distinct builds in this game.
Yeah. For folks, eventually when y'all pick it up, if the combat hasn't grabbed you yet, there's like an early mini boss. I think he's like one of the jailer dudes, prison dudes with he's half naked and he's carrying one of the pillars. The combat didn't click for me until that fight because you were just constantly dashing underneath his legs, hitting him from behind, and it's just so good. And like, if you're having the accessibility options, we sung its praises last week, but if you have trouble with the parry timing, adjust that, make it a little bit easier for yourself. You're going to have a fantastic time. Sean, how are you liking it? You're in the middle of it, right?
Yeah, I've only gotten a couple hours into it because again, other stuff came up. So I managed to progress a little bit on Steam Deck, which by the way, you got running on Steam Deck, okay,
Yes.
Jan?
Thank you, Sean,
Oh,
for
right,
showing me it was
yeah.
possible. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned Steam Deck. I didn't even put two and two together
Yeah.
there. That's great.
Yeah.
The installation process for anyone curious, it's not. I wouldn't even say it's involved. It's just going to the desktop mode and getting a specific launcher, and then from there, just making sure Ubisoft Connect creds are the same.
Yeah, if you're comfortable doing that kind of thing on your Windows desktop, you can totally do it on Steam Deck just fine too.
And then can you launch it from the standard like Steam Deck mode?
Yep.
Yeah, you just got to add it to Steam.
And I use a little program that lets me add artwork to it and everything, so it just looks like any other game on my Steam Deck.
So it's like the emu deck type stuff, like making it so you can run
Yeah.
that stuff from. Okay,
Yeah,
that's not
Steam
too
Deck,
bad.
Steam Deck Dev is so good at this point. There's always a tool for something that automates a lot of this stuff. But yeah, no, I'm really enjoying it. I the more I play it, even when you guys were talking about the end game stuff or being early game stuff, I was thinking about. Boy, that's some Metroid Dread shit right there. Like especially having an early boss that you slide under and have to learn the combat through that and everything like that. Yeah, but the sincerest form of flattery, definitely, because I every time I play this game, I'm like smiling. It's one of those games where I do something cool. I'm like, oh, that was fucking awesome. I love this game. I'm having even more fun with the platforming sections.
Yeah.
More of those come up on the on the side. It's usually on the side when you're doing the main story, but I will absolutely go over there because that's my jam. And I do the Celeste thing. I'm trying to get the perfect run of dashing back and forth across the walls, and even sometimes doing things a little more difficult that I need to just because it feels good to move in this game.
I'm so guilty of that in these kinds of games, in most games, but
Yeah.
especially anything with a parry, anything with really intense platforming.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna try to make it look cool because that makes me happier.
Yeah, parrying in particular, I'm a third strike kind of guy, so yeah, I love me my parries, and I just anytime I get into combat, I treat it like I'm trying to make a combat video for YouTube. Like, just how long can I extend this combo on this one jobber, and it's just always a blast.
And the shit you can do too with that shadow guy, where you can charge your thing up, make your shadow throw your thing, and then your shadow throws his beam, and it's like, oh man, there's so many. I've already seen some really crazy videos coming out of that.
Yeah, that's been awesome to see. Is that scene is growing fast. And is the game actually out now? I think did it come out?
It's early Ubisoft.
I put it in my
access?
calendar. Yes, it's out in early access for the whatever Ubisoft thing they do, and that comes out on Thursday.
Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah. So it's just seeing people already going ham on this game with the awesome combat videos has been really cool to see.
Well, and for a game that has so many different abilities, you would think that there'd at least be a couple times that you get a new ability and you're like, okay, whatever. But pretty much all of them were like, oh, okay, I can do a lot of shit with this now.
Yeah, I think they really did figure out the sort of escalation curve with those abilities in a way that really is impressive because, you get the double jump pretty late and then there's some abilities beyond that. You're like, okay, yeah, I was expecting to get something that was inconsequential. And it's it just never happened. Everything completely improved and changed how I was playing already.
Yeah, Dan said, the difficulty curve I feel is just perfect. It just expertly ramps up. There's the kind of little difficulty spikes you want, the tiny ones where it's okay, I've reached a challenging boss, but it's not pushing me too hard for what I can do right now. And I love that too.
Well, all the double jump and air control stuff is already so good, in the mid game, and then you get that RB ability near the end. It's oh man, adding this, it's this is a crazy amount of air control.
The game's $50, and I think some people are hesitant for one because Ubisoft games are going to drop in price really fast. But if we take that out, is there any doubt in your minds that this is worth $50?
No.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
I happily spent $60. Well, I spent what was it, $80 on a collector's edition for Metroid Dread.
Right.
Yeah.
The game is good. I absolutely spend that amount on other games of that length, and I think a lot of people still have. Unfortunately, it's kind of a toxic internet opinion to have of this is a 2D game. 2D games aren't worth it. It's get the hell out of here with that. Just because it's not a Naughty Dog game or a big budget, Coalition game that looks absolutely gorgeous. No, the game is still very fun. It has a solid length, even for a Metroidvania.
Yeah.
And no, it's absolutely worth it, I think.
100% agreed. Yeah.
Agreed.
And I'm not, I think I might be around where Sean is. in terms of completion of the game, but it feels like a fuller game than Metroid Dread, and Metroid Dread was full price when that came out. So I wholeheartedly recommend this. Again, Ubisoft has their weird subscription thing, so if you're a little bit hesitant on that, maybe go sign up for that subscription thing for a month so you can try it out. Maybe
someone
get your
in the
time.
chat just pointed this out, and this hurts me. $50 is the new $40. This is the new budget
Oh,
price.
yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
100%. That
Oh,
happened
man.
like a year ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
You know, if you like, I would do that $15 thing if you're price conscious. But you know, there's also a bunch of great Metroidvanias you probably haven't played yet. So if you're like, this one reminds me a lot of Strider, that old one from
2014.
2014.
The
Yes, thank
PS3
you.
one, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like the combat's very similar. This builds on that in every way. This is better than that in every way. But yes, it's still like there's some hidden gems out there.
It's definitely the type of game where this was not a team that was told you're making a Metroidvania out of this IP. This was a team that said, we love Metroidvanias.
Yeah.
We understand how they work. We are going to make our take on this genre. Nailed it.
Didn't there used to be like a $20 tier? I feel like in the PS2 era, like remember that ESPN 2K5 football game that was $20? There was Katamari Damacy was like 20.
Yeah,
it
20 years ago.
Yeah. It wasn't super frequent, but there was that $20 tier that didn't really exist in the Super Nintendo, Sega years, you know?
Well, that $20 tier still existed for a long time on Steam. It's $30 now.
Sure.
It's definitely $30 now, though. Like
Yeah.
that's the price you would get for something like a indie game that is like, no, we deserve to make a little bit more money. $30, and like the occasional one from like a well-established indie studio will be $40. Like Hades 2 comes out. I hope that's like $40. Make that $40. Go to town.
In the heyday of like Summer Arcade, XBLA, Limbo, Explosion Man, like I feel like those were like 10, right? For
I want to
like
say
top
15,
tier, 10 to 15.
Yeah.
It was usually like
Castle
15,
Crashers. Yeah.
Yeah, $14.99 or whatever. That was Xbox
1,200
Live.
Microsoft
Yeah,
points.
1,200 Microsoft points. Exactly.
gosh.
Yes.
But now you got Vampire Survivors. $2.99.
Yeah. Well, then you
Or
have
is it $5 now?
You have Suika, right? Which is $2.99 on the Switch.
Oh yeah.
And you
Still
got to play the
happens, yeah.
Switch version. The browser
There's
version, the physics are off.
No, the Switch version is the real Suika game.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, 100%.
There's a Blaze Blue Metroidvania in early access on Steam.
I told you about this like 6 months ago.
I don't
dude.
listen when you're talking.
I know, I can tell.
Well,
It's
I'm downloading it
apparently
now.
it's weird because it actually has like nothing to do with Blaze Blue. The characters are just in it. It's
Oh.
really
Oh, okay.
weird. But yeah, it's like Metroidvania roguelite things. I was like, this is a grub game.
Well, I'm checking it out.
Go get that.
Question
anime.
for y'all, since y'all are bigger Metroid heads than I. I know in Metroid Dread they added the like uppercut parry thing that Samus can do. What if they gave Samus a sword?
I mean, I'd be for it.
I'd be up. Yeah, that
No,
sounds
I
all right.
want it.
Not even remotely.
I'm game for that.
Like, what if it was an energy sword? Like
yeah, no,
Voltron?
of course, yeah. It's like a what's the Mega Man gimmick? Is it Zero or
Yeah, Zero.
Yeah, Zero.
Zero? Yeah.
Z Saber, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, that just feels wrong. I just unless it's okay, you know the ending of Metroid Dread? If
Yeah, I do know
that
that.
is her sword,
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Then we're
all right.
then we're talking.
Sean worked
Okay,
himself
sure.
into a shoot. That's what happened here.
Sure.
But otherwise, no, I don't want to see Samus holding a sword. I'm sorry.
I like it when an energy sword does just go on forever. It can like cut the earth in half. I'm a big fan
Yeah,
of
Sora's Wrath type stuff.
Sora's
yeah.
Wrath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a game.
What a game.
I played the hottest new release this weekend. I beat it. Metal Gear Solid. Are you familiar?
Oh, I saw a little bit of
saw
this.
some
Play us a
glimpses.
little bit, Dan.
that. Yeah.
It is. Okay, now don't confuse it with Snake versus Monkey. The
I would
part
never.
in Snake Eater Subsistence where Snake or Big Boss is hunting monkeys from Ape Escape. It's the Ape Escape 3 mode where you are playing as a monkey Solid Snake going around capturing monkeys, and it's just a full-fledged like hour and a half. Like there's like a Metal Gear fight at the end. There's numerous boss fights, stealth stuff. You have a banana gun. There's a torture scene with the ocelot monkey and the actual like human character model of Big Boss. It's fucking insane, and I loved it. So
It looked really stupid, and I liked it a lot.
yeah, and the Snake versus Monkey thing is very fun too. I
miss
Yeah.
when games did dumb stuff like this.
yes,
Uh-huh.
it's so dumb and so funny. I loved it.
Yeah, putting Snake in Evolution skateboarding or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, that
You
was
have,
great.
Tanker level. Yeah.
Or Big Shell skateboarding and Substance. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
love the design of those stupid monkeys in Ape Escape.
Yeah.
Bring Ape Escape back, please.
It's time.
Please bring Ape Escape back. It is definitely time.
Is that a
Yeah.
Konami owned IP, or does?
Ape Escape? No.
I think
that
it's
was
first party Sony.
It's
That's-
Sony
yeah,
Japan
that's a Sony
Studios.
joint.
Oh my God! Just do that in PSVR 2, you hooligans.
I got some good news. I got some bad news. Sony's got a lot of money. They can make a lot of games. Bad news is they closed down Japan Studios. They're not going to do that again.
Yep.
Shit, really?
Very much
Think-
so.
Oh, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Their whole thing is they want games to have global appeal, and then they got in their head that meant like it's got to look expensive and not be awesome, like Ape Escape.
No,
So-
me and Grub have been harping on this for like a year now on various
It's
podcasts.
a
Like
travesty.
Hi-Fi Rush, do that for like Ape Escape and
Yeah.
stuff, dude.
Absolutely.
Key games.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Sony, if you're listening, and I know you are, come closer. Astrobot, Ape Escape.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Both of those, or just both of those
No,
things.
yeah. Oh no, a bunch of apes are in my PlayStation 5. Who can save my PS5? Astrobot.
Exactly.
hmm
There we go.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
John Drake,
Addy-
use that idea. I don't know. Somehow.
Addie plays Astrobot every single day. Every day she's
It's
playing
a fantastic platformer. It's
that.
great.
She basically beats it every day
Really
too.
good.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Speaking about games that are doing something and improving on other things, during last week's UPF, the three of us plus Nikki played Knock. And for the folks that don't know, Knock is probably, after Half-Life Alyx, the best VR game. And it is just
Yeah.
Rocket League.
Yeah, with bow and arrows, and you're like skating around and flying in a way that makes you want to puke, but you feel fucking alive.
Yeah.
Like, it's awesome.
But it just works so well. So like with your left hand, like Dan said, you're holding down the trigger and you're skating with it. So you're like pulling the ground and like slaloming where you're supposed to go. And then with
That's
your
how it
right
worked.
right hand, you pull the trigger down, you throw your arm down and you jump. But then you could also like go
Hey, man,
down.
isn't-
Throw the world down. You don't jump. You throw the world down.
Yes.
That's how it is.
Isn't it the same hand as all like the mobility stuff? And you
Yeah,
pull
I
up
think
your
it's
like
the same hand.
non-dominant hand for
Yeah.
the bow and arrow stuff, and it automatically, yeah, it just feels fucking pretty. It takes like 15 seconds to learn how the mechanics work, and then you're just off to the races, and it's fun as hell.
And so you skate forward, you throw the world down, you're hovering up in air, and then you pull the arrow back, and you hit the ball perfectly, and you feel so fucking cool. I felt so cool doing that. And then we played, and then Dan's like, be this little gremlin self falling the ball around. I'm like, oh, well, I guess I got to go play for real. I can't just be floating up here in the air. But it was still a really cool time.
Yeah.
We will do that again.
We definitely got to do that again soon. And it's a 3 arrow limit, and then you got to recharge just by getting a
Recharge, yep.
pickup.
If you hit the ball with an arrow, it puts one back in, but then you can pick up either the 1 or 3 pickups like skating around.
Okay, so if you hit the ball, it re-ups your arrow. Okay, that's cool. Yeah. If you have a MetaQuest 3, or I think it's also on Steam, so if you have an Index, definitely fucking check out Knock.
Well, let's do a TNT for Knock.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Knocked
oh,
up.
because it knocked up.
Oh my god.
There we go.
Holy shit! All right, yeah, because it was a custom lobby thing, right?
Oh,
we could totally
hey.
do that.
This is on Quest 2. I could do this.
Oh, there we go.
All right.
I have a Quest
Perfect.
2. Yeah.
Oh,
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's do that.
I don't know. There's probably small indie VR studios out there, devs out there, but like, yo, how does this just work? And how did we just hear of this last week?
It's
Yeah.
a weird idea, and it just works.
I
Yeah.
don't think I ever would have heard about it at all had Nikki not like Nikki was like, let's go research some stuff for our UPF, and then they found that. I'm like, okay, I'll just download all these, and I'm not really even paying attention. And then I saw Knock was like like Rocket League, and I'm like, I bet it has a tutorial. I'm gonna go check that out, make sure I'm ready to go. And I played the tutorial and was immediately like, I get it. This is awesome. More of this. Then I was thinking, I bet everyone else is going to get sick and we won't be able to play it. But we all did get sick and we still just kept playing it.
No,
It's fine.
I will happily puke for Knock.
Yeah.
Same. I'll puke. Just
I
put
was
that on the
wondering.
box.
I'll puke for Knock. Well, because right before that, we checked out a pretty well-established ping pong game, and we had difficulties even playing against each other or getting into the game. And I think that game was like twice the price of Knock.
Yes. It's been around for a long time too.
It's been out for a long time, so they've definitely had the time to iron the kinks out. But I had a much more fun being a weird cat person.
Yeah, in Knock.
Octopus
Yeah, in Knock.
thing?
It was it was like a weird like glob with arms.
Yeah.
God, I
It
just
was
want to be a
like,
glob with arms again.
Starfish.
I had a great time in 11 table tennis though because I destroyed you. That was a lot of fun
Well,
for me.
you know, like the physics were there. I didn't set my grip properly. You know,
Oh, that's what it was.
I didn't
yeah.
do the pen grip that I'm used to. Grub.
Someone's mentioning in chat that Lethal Company got a full VR mod. That could be fun.
Oh boy.
We could use we can use Steam link.
Okay.
and do
Okay.
that.
So if we ever need to take out Jeff Bakalar, now
This
we
is-
know how to do it. We have the weapon.
This is our Batman plan.
his bald head would just explode everywhere.
I'm scared
I
for
don't know why I had
Lucy
bald
though.
there. That sounded hateful. I'm sorry, Jeff Bakalar.
I feel like Lucy's gonna catch a stray here, and Lucy's just gonna
Lucy will be in the
disintegrate.
ship.
Yeah.
We'll take Bakalar in. We'll be like, it's fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah, they're like as everyone's walking in, we'll just be like, Lucy, no, just go sit out. Just go sit over there real quick. You just watch this.
You have the monitor. You got it.
Yeah. Just use a regular monitor. Oh man, Knock is so good. I booted it back up and I just played against randoms, and I still had a fantastic time.
Really? I haven't tried that yet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play some more.
Grub, I don't know if you have time to play some more because you apparently have been taking your time and setting up your Aya Neo Retro Mini PC.
Yeah. INEO makes a bunch of those handhelds, but they decided to like just take one of those handhelds and put it inside a small PC that you hook up to your TV. And it looks really cute. It looks basically like a Macintosh. It even has like the little rainbow logo on it and stuff, and a fake screen. And when you boot it up, the wallpaper just says hello, like the Macintosh did. I like it a lot. It works well. I got the Ryzen 5 model instead of the Ryzen 7 model, so it's even like the more affordable version that I think is like not. I think it's like 200, 300, not even. It's like super affordable.
I think it might be 3, 5, and 7 because I was looking. I think it was the Ryzen 3 is like 200. I was
Okay,
like,
okay,
"Ooh,
yes.
This might actually be good for a home server.
Yes, exactly. And then I'm like, I'm gonna move my my Plex server is getting moved over to this because
Exactly,
I'm done with the Shield. The Shield is a little bit too cumbersome at this point. So yeah, Plex server's moving over to that, and then I'm setting up to play retro games. And I'm like, you know what? EmuDeck got updated for Windows. I was going to try that, and I went through that, and I set it all up, and I started trying to play my games, and nothing worked. Like maybe the NES games worked, nothing else. And so I was like, okay, I'm sure some of these are BIOSes, and I got all the BIOSes set up, and still basically nothing worked. So I'm like, okay, this isn't quite there yet. And to be fair, EmuDeck for Windows is in like a beta phase. It's early. But that was like, I'm at a point where of course, I still enjoy setting up my emulators and all that stuff. But I got to a point where like I've done that an infinite number of times in my life. I kind of just want to get back to playing the games and not like setting everything up and being like, oh, look what I've done here and being so pleased with myself. And so I'm kind of believing in the dream that I could press a button and have it all just happen automatically was beautiful. And it's like, okay, we're not there yet, at least with Windows. So I'll go in there. I'm going to update these emulators myself, but I got like a 512 gigabyte USB 3.2 stick that I'm putting all the games on. I might put Batocera on there, which is a build of Linux that is specifically made to just be a front end for emulators. And it completely, like, you would just boot into that instead of Windows. But this thing already has Windows on it, and I was like, I'll try this first. Now that hasn't really worked, I think I will go the Batocera route. The problem with that is sometimes for these newer PCs, you have to go into the BIOS and turn off some like security features to get it to boot into Batocera. And that sounds like a headache. And I don't know if I want to like have it work that way. So I have to like set it up every single time or go in and like flip back and forth if I want to go back into Windows or something like that. And if I want to use it as my Plex server, I'll have to do that. So I'm like trying to figure out what the best solution is here. But I'm here to report these mini PCs have gotten very, very, very good. Yeah. And if you are looking for something to like, hey, I just wish I had something I could connect to my TV. It can handle all this other stuff that like, oh, some of these smart apps get close or I have my console set up. Yeah. But if I could like have a PC that can do all this emulation, do all the extra stuff I need, and then can stream from some of these other devices when I need it to, this seems like a really good solution for that. So I've been really happy with it.
Grub, when is enough? How many of
What's
these
that
do you
word?
need?
What's that word?
Man's
I don't
gas
know.
thickness. Don't.
I don't know. Listen, I'll talk about the slide again if you want. If you're not careful,
Just show me the slide. Just show me the slide.
yeah, absolutely. Just listen to the clunk on this because it's spring loaded.
Oh,
that's good.
It goes with force.
What is that thing?
The Ioneo slide. It is.
Okay.
It's from the same company, and it's got a full keyboard underneath the screen. And the best part about it is the like amber coloring on the keys, which reminds me so much of the Sidekick. Like just looking down at my little fire in my hands or whatever. But it also has windows and all this stuff.
Actual caveman shit.
Actual caveman shit. That's right. But it's this has a 7840U, which anyone who's been paying attention to these handhelds will know that's basically been in all the top end handhelds, and it runs games really, really well. It's not quite as powerful as like a Asus Roger Ally, but it's still very powerful and can run most of your games. And I'm enjoying it. It's a little bit smaller, but it's also kind of still thick and heavy and stuff.
I might be interested in that because like I had a long session of playing Prince of Persia on the Steam Deck, and that bad boy, the original Steam Deck, it's kind of hefty. It's a little hefty on the hands there.
Yeah.
This one is still pretty heavy. That's the thing.
Okay, wow.
Dense is the difference.
Yeah, dense. Exactly. I'll do a comparison. If you're looking for a lighter one, there are things from Ioneo that don't have the keyboard that are significantly lighter.
They just announced that they're pulling out the Ioneo Lite, I think is just what it's called. And that's just going to be a $300 entry level thing if you just want to play like lower level games. This is for sickos right here.
Yeah, this is for sickos.
This is for sickos.
I do, the screen like bows out like 30%. That's pretty comfortable. The issue is that the keyboard that that's really what I wanted it for, is to actually like use my thumbs to type like I did on my Sidekick, and I love that. I would spend so much time typing stuff out. It's a bit too wide. These center keys are hard to get to. I gave it to Stephanie. I'm like, can you reach these middle keys? And she's like, no, my hands are basically going to explode if I try to do that. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I figured. I kind of wish they would space out these keys to each side and then put a touchpad here in the middle, because you are still using Windows up here. It would be nice to have the touchpad as an option. So the fact that you still have to go up here and use the touch screen, sometimes I found myself like, okay, I'm navigating Windows, time to type in a password. I click on the thing, and without thinking, I just started using the on-screen touch keyboard because I just wasn't like even thinking about the keyboard being underneath because I'm already in the touch screen interface. So it's neat, but it's not perfect. It's not exactly what I wanted. As a gaming device, it works pretty good, but the price is pretty high for what it is.
Well, Grub, speaking of you playing retro games, can we tell the fine folks at home about the old game that I have convinced you to play sight unseen on this website starting this week?
Absolutely. Yeah. What am I playing, Dan?
You, knowing nothing about this game, over the next 2 to 3 weeks, when we find time after Game Mess Morning, you will be playing through Tale of the Sun for the PlayStation 1. And don't look anything up. We're just going to go in and we're going to see how it goes.
I will say that the one thing I do know about this game is it got a 0 from EGM, I believe.
Ooh,
a 0, maybe
yeah.
1.
I'll tell you
that's an accomplishment.
I mean this. Like, I understand why some people and some reviewers played this and were like, what the fuck is this game even? I have played through this entire game twice now, and I can say earnestly, unironically, I think it's a good, fascinating game.
Okay.
Yep, I'm looking forward to this. I always wanted to play it when I saw that.
I was going to ask you, Dan, are you trying to inadvertently fool Grub into doing 2 seasons back to back of Blight Club?
No, I have voluntarily played through this whole thing twice and loved it both times.
Okay.
Grub, you might want to have like a paper and pen. I made my own map as I explored the world.
You expect him to pay attention to something?
Oh no.
I'll be there to help.
All right, I'm looking forward to this. It looks wild. It always looked wild. I can't wait to actually see what happens in it for real.
I have never played anything like it even since then. So I think you're gonna like it.
Okay, looking forward to it for sure. Yeah,
excellent. I think Thursday is the first time we're gonna do it, and maybe a couple days next week. So look for it in like the early morning, afternoon, depending on where you're at in the States. But it should be fun.
Yep, looking forward to it.
Going from something that no one has ever heard about to other games that I believe, as far as I know, Grub, Dan, and I have no fucking clue what's going on. Sean, you put those other 3D fighting games on the list here.
Yes, and I know you sickos have at least heard of Dead or Alive, so don't
Oh,
say
well, I
don't
mean,
say you
you know,
haven't heard of them.
Picks high.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Maybe from other sources, but regardless, no, yeah, this is. I mentioned what was it last week on the Bombcast 2 weeks ago that I was doing a lot of stuff on Steam Deck. You know, I got the OLED and just getting all the retro stuff up and running has been a lot of fun. Revisiting old stuff or checking out stuff that I've never seen before. And so one of those things is that, you know, at the end of this month, we got Tekken 8 coming out. And so my journey for the past like month and a half, maybe 2 months even, because I just do it a little bit here and there, has been sort of acclimating myself to 3D fighting games because I'm very much a Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom, you know, those sort of 2D fighters, Killer Instinct, that kind of thing. So I've just been checking out the other big 3D fighting games to get myself in the right headspace for it. And I checked out some of the older Tekken games. I checked out Virtua Fighter. I will say the one that stuck actually was Dead or Alive. Not for those reasons. But I played the absolutely hilariously bad story modes.
Oh, man.
There's so... Listen, if we ever need ideas, guys, I got some games. If we ever need to say grub down for something, I got some games. It's funny to make you suffer, okay? I will say Dead or Alive Dimensions on the 3DS is a fantastic game, actually, because it summarizes the stories of 1 through 4 and teaches you how to play while doing so.
Oh, okay.
So, like, the story is fucking awful. But while you're going through it and just laughing at how bad it is, the game teaches you, okay, now we're going to introduce this layer of 3D fighting games. Now we're going to teach you how throws work in a 3D space. Now we're going to teach you how this like sort of weapon triangle of, you know, breaking throws works versus strikes and everything like that. And it just feels really good to play in a way that I've always thought Tekken is a little obtuse because you got the 2 buttons for punches and kicks. Virtua Fighter leans so heavily into throws that's always been a little daunting. Dead or Alive, you can kind of just like do a 3-hit combo with punches or like a 3-hit combo with kicks, and then you can figure out on the fly how to string them together. It's really freeform. And so I just ended up playing all the Dead or Alive games, and they're actually really fun. And so that was just sort of my little pet project for the past month while I was checking out retro stuff.
Sean,
was Dead or Alive the first series that really did the like multi-layered, like, oh, I knocked someone into off this thing and they landed on the like that's the first one I remember.
No. Virtua Fighter did a little bit of that first.
Okay.
Dead or Alive was definitely a one where it's like, I'm going to knock you off this cliff and there's going to be like a cinematic of us falling and me like punching you and then you slam into the ground.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sean, how do you find playing a fighting game on a portable like a Steam Deck? Is it weird at all?
It depends on the game, because like for 6-button games, I do use my little leverless controller right here.
Guy.
For audio listeners, it's if you are seeing a hitbox style controller where it's all buttons, that's what I'm showing off here, just a smaller version of it. That's called the SGF Bridget. It named after a Guilty Gear character because a little small thing. But for any like other fighting game where I'm not used to that layout, I feel like it's okay to play on controller. Like I was alternating between Steam Deck and sometimes desktop for these games, and I felt like, you know, using a controller for a 4-button fighting game is okay, especially if it has a good D-pad. Steam Deck does not have a good D-pad, but like I mentioned, for a lot of that, I was playing on a 3DS, which has an incredible one. The Xbox controller currently has a great D-pad, and so for those games, it was definitely okay. If I was trying to play something that was 6-button, though, I'd probably fall back to that over there, though.
Okay. Well, thank you, Sean, for that quick history lesson. God, we should just check out a bunch of miscellaneous 3DS games that have gone lost to time. I think that'd be fun.
Good.
Oh yeah. There's there's that early Steel Diver, and what's like one of the first games I ever got for it was that Ubisoft Tactics game that was based on Tom Clancy, and it was like surprisingly good. Shadow Agents or something.
Was that a Splinter
Shadow
Cell?
of Toms?
No.
I remember there was that project, Codename Steam. That was like a tactics thing, first party Nintendo, right? Where you're like Abe Lincoln XCOM or something.
That game's, I really didn't like that game.
One of the only ones that used the nub for the new 3DS.
That's right.
Yes, it was a good nub. It was a good nub.
It's a good nub.
I liked the nub. Not ever really used it though.
Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Shadow Wars, Grub, was that it?
That's it. That's what it was. Yes, Shadow Wars.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
mentioned that one before. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, folks, if you got any hidden 3DS gems, throw them our way. Maybe we'll collect those and
Or
do a
not
UPF.
so gems.
Or not so gems, yeah.
People are mentioning that Citra VR is coming to Oculus, so you could do full 3D support with the Oculus Quest.
Snake Eater
That's
3D.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Let's do
People
that.
like that version, right? I've
Someone
always heard
said,
people like that.
someone says it's the best version.
I mean, it didn't run great on the 3DS. I think the frame rate was kind of rough, but
Right.
yeah, I think there's ways around that now.
Oh man,
Maybe.
Yeah. Now I just want to dig out my 3DS, which is just the doorstop one somewhere.
3ds.hacks. Is that what the website is, Sean? 3ds.
I didn't
3DS
hear.
guy.
I'm not
that
hearing
guy.
anything.
Yeah.
I'm
Nope.
not hearing any URLs. We're not doing any crimes here.
Nope.
Let's fucking go.
Last game we have here. It's not game of the week or anything. This is maybe just another spiral, another void I'm willing and happy to jump into. I was telling Grub earlier before we started the show how I hate the nicest man on the internet. I hate David Chen of the Slash Film Cast because he had talked about a book he was reading, and then I started listening to the audiobook, and now I just want to get all the way into poker.
Let's go.
I want to get so into poker.
And I
Yeah.
will help you on this journey if you want.
Mhm.
I'm hosting a poker night in a few weeks here if you want to come out to Minnesota in February. But
Well,
it's very fun. It's my dad will be here, so if you want to learn poker with me and my
Hell
dad and a
yeah,
bunch of
that
friends,
sounds
you can do
like a
that.
good time,
in person.
actually.
Come on
Uh-huh.
out. Yeah.
yeah,
It's very fun.
I only know like a couple of hands, and I don't think
Which
I know
ones?
them
Let's
that
hear 'em.
well.
Let's hear them.
Okay, I think I also only know the names.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see if you can surmise what they are.
Okay, a full house is like all of the people cards, right?
Nope.
No.
No, fuck
The
me
people
then.
got-
A full
going,
house
keep
could
going.
be 3 7s and 2 2s, you know,
Oh.
or 3 2s
It's a
and 2
pair and a
7s.
three of a kind.
Yep. So
Okay,
a poker
okay.
hand is 5 cards, and so 3 and 2 basically
Okay,
is
so
a full house.
that's an Uncle Jesse, Uncle Joey, and Danny Tanner, and then the twins, basically.
That's right.
That's what
Nailed
they
it.
call it. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, so is a royal flush all the people cards and the ace?
A royal flush is 10 through ace.
Okay.
10 jack, queen, king, ace, and then all of the same suit would be a royal
Yes.
flush.
Oh, okay. So a flush is just those
A
cards.
flush is just, it could be 2 3 4 5 6
The same suit.
spades, you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So
Now, I always mix up. Is the flush is higher than
Flush
the
is
straight,
higher
right?
than straight. Yes.
That's the one I've
Yes.
been trying to memorize for forever.
Yep. And then there's a straight flush, which is like, let's say you had, 7, 8, 9, 10, jack, queen of hearts. That's a straight flush.
okay, how come sometimes when people play poker they only have 2 cards?
Because that's the more fun way. You can
Yes.
do all, there's a million weird ways to play. The old way was like the kind of draw, the 5-card
draw.
stud type thing or 5-card draw. And then in like the mid 2000s, when like the World Series of Poker got
Texas
huge on
Hold'em.
ESPN and everything, Texas Hold'em got huge. And
Okay.
I think it's a lot more fun. Some people like other types.
It is
and- yeah.
demonstrably more fun. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's the
You
one
can
I
do
should
gimmicks
learn.
and stuff. Like when I play with my mom and her husband, they do pineapple a lot where it's like dealer's choice. They can throw out a 3rd card and you got to like discard one, but we won't mess with that to start with. We'll just basic Texas Hold'em, 2
Okay.
cards. Yeah. Shared pot. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Basically what I'm saying is if and when Sean goes to Evo in Vegas this year, I'm also going to go to Vegas, but not for Evo at all. I'm just going to go and blow an obscene amount of money.
Let's
Can we
learn.
also-
Let's
can we play
learn
can we play
poker
craps?
first.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Craps is free money.
Craps.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Craps kicks
See,
ass.
okay.
Money.
Yeah.
I'm up on craps overall. Yeah.
I know that it makes sense to do a game of the year and the game awards in LA because that's where Keely's hosting it. We have the fandom studio there. It
Hey,
makes
there are
sense.
some really fancy poker houses in LA, though, just so you know.
Oh, well, never mind what I was going to say then, because I was saying we should just do game of the year and like the pyramid thing.
Okay,
The
well,
sphere.
that's
Oh,
the sphere.
yeah,
The
fuck
game
the
of the
pyramid.
year.
In the
Game of
In the
year,
s-
2024.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. We're going to
We'll get the
drag
Chuck E. Cheese
back
band in
our...
there.
Is there a more backlar thing than not being impressed by the sphere? That's the most backlar thing in the world.
Shocking. Fucking shocking. Jesus Christ.
He's going to be on a mission
It sucks,
of
it sucks.
not wanting to be in Vegas, avoiding the sphere, and trying to find me in whichever miscellaneous poker table I find myself at. And then we're gonna play the Keno. We're gonna get big into Keno. I don't know how to play
Sure.
Keno either.
I think you
play
just pick some
Keno.
numbers.
Yeah, Keno's pretty random. Do you know pull tabs? Do you have pull tabs anywhere else? Sean, do you have pull tabs in Wisconsin?
I have no
just
idea
in
what
Minnesota?
you're talking
Oh,
about.
I know
I think
what
the
pull tabs
Minnesota meat raffle style thing. Okay, pull tabs are a thing.
Oh,
They're like
meat
so
wrap.
you go to bars and there will be like a separate employee that goes they're in like so here's the bar where you get the drinks and stuff, but then there's like a little booth over here where it'll be like I think they have Keno sometimes, but then pull tabs where it's like they're usually $1 a thing and they're a little cardboard gimmick and it's almost like a scratcher type thing, but you pull them. They're like it's like a cardboard perforated thing and you pull 3 things and it's almost like a slot machine, like get 3 strawberries and you win this and you bring it back to the pull tab person, you win some money.
I think I saw that near Tahoe, but Tahoe is like super close to Reno in Nevada.
Okay.
So that makes sense why that would be there.
It's all over the place here in Minnesota. I'm surprised it's not in Wisconsin.
It seems like it's just more of like a more complicated way to do lottery or bingo or something like that.
Okay, that's like a scratcher basically. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, scratcher.
Yeah.
I have a $100 scratcher. It's been sitting in my car for a while. I shouldn't say that on the internet. But do those expire? I should probably go get that.
I don't think so.
Yeah, but it probably seems like it shouldn't expire.
I don't believe so. I used to do some of this stuff when I worked at a grocery store. I don't think they do.
Okay.
We did a white
Dude,
elephant.
everyone's screaming ass. Yes, they do. Okay. Never mind.
Probably not after a year though, right?
Well, cash it in now, Grub.
Yeah, okay. Well, I will do it today.
We did a white elephant thing with the family for Christmas, and you know how you like steal up to 3 times like each item at a white elephant. I don't know how everyone does it different, but basically my dad's gift that he brought was a Quick Trip gas station gift card and 3 scratcher tickets, and then he spent the entire white elephant trying to get it back for himself.
That's a move. That's a move
That
right
sounds
there.
right.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
Larry David move. Holy moly.
Man. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to get super into Texas Hold'em because Texas Hold'em kind of sounds like easier Mahjong, and I barely remember how to play Mahjong.
Never mind. I was about to break an embargo.
Which one? Which one could that be? Is it the Tekken thing? Is there a Tekken minigame of Mahjong?
You stupid idiot.
Penalty box, everybody. See you later.
All right. After Grub is done serving his time at the penalty box, we'll be back with the news. Hey, if you got recs for how to learn Texas Hold'em, I don't know. Don't send them my way, but send them my way.
Let's just play. Just start playing. That's the best way to learn. Or go back in time and watch Chris Moneymaker.
No, play with us. Let's do like a Discord poker thing or something, and there's no real money on the line, and you can just openly talk about your hand, and we'll tell you how to play it.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll boot up something. I'll find a book as well to read at the same time.
Play Poker Night at the inventory. It's
the
like
Steam join, right?
Steam.
If you have it, because still listed.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's a bummer. Well, anyway, Grub's gonna go serve his time for him and his crimes, and we'll just keep him company in the box until it's time to break him out. And we'll be back with the news. Oops, wrong asset. Well, it's over for me, folks. It's so over. I had to turn off my camera. My camera died. I learned how to play poker, and then I'm just smiling ear to ear. So my camera died to hide my shame because of how much I now love poker. Poker is my new thing.
We played a little bit during the break, and we taught Jan the rules real fast.
And it's great. Holy shit. Why don't we should have a night where we all play poker together? Perhaps call it Poker Night.
Ooh.
1,000% I am in. Yes.
Oh man, is that what that show is about with Natasha Lyonne? Poker Face? She doesn't play any poker in that show.
Basically,
Sure.
I think she does in like the first episode because she could tell when people are lying, right? I think that's how they show.
Oh man, I'm gonna get us all cool, slightly translucent visors. What?
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
Sunglasses. Yeah.
Oh man, I can't wait to gimmick this shit up. Okay. All right. Oh no, this is bad for me.
Let me fix something for my kid. I'll be right back.
Okay. But yeah, that's very easy to learn. And thank you, Dan. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Grub, for teaching me. This is
fun.
I hope everyone marks this down in their journals that this is the day that my life changed forever.
Well, and Jan, you're in a fun spot because the beginner's luck thing is really real. Because like normally when you're playing with a bunch of people who know how to play and everything, you know they're at least going to follow the rules of like just logic. And I've seen so many times when somebody new is at the table and you just never know, like, well, nobody would ever do that, but they might not know not to do that.
Bowl in a china shop strategy. It is real and it works.
Yep.
Oh, fantastic. Well, not news to everyone, but here goes Jen with another stupid hobby. Jeff Grubb, please save me with the news.
Yeah, I'm here for you. News. God, yeah, we played like 2 minutes of poker, and I'm already like itching. Like,
I just want to play that for like 5 hours.
Oh, it's a good game. All right, let's start here. Elden Ring DLC excitement is building because there's some things maybe pointing to it happening soon. Elden Ring's DLC Shadow of the Erd Tree has been shrouded in mystery since its announcement a year ago. Despite From Software's silence, rumors and signs have hinted at its impending arrival. Recent developments include a leaked product page suggesting a February launch, aligning with Elden Ring's 2-year anniversary. Additionally, a mysterious incoming update on Steam has been discovered, fueling speculation. The update, which doesn't explicitly mention the DLC, has sparked excitement as it marks the first change to the game's downloadable content in over a year. Fans eagerly await more information, hoping for official announcements soon. And then furthermore, rumors suggest the possibility of a second major DLC in 2025, indicating a bright future for Elden Ring's post-launch content. Shadow of the Erd Tree probably happens this year. I could see it happening as soon as next month, except for like, man, why wasn't it at the Keeleys then? Because they had that relationship. It worked really good when they worked really well when they announced the game originally. Why wouldn't they do that same strategy again? There are probably a bunch of reasons why you don't do it. It's just like, I thought I would have expected it. But hey, I will hop right back in. I just realized I'm missing Elden Ring pretty bad, so I'm looking forward to this.
Is it supposed to be pretty substantial? Like, have they said anything of note other than just like the title?
I don't know how much they've said. The assumption is it'll be pretty substantial. I think they did confirm that you're going to like a whole new island or something like that. So basically it'll be like a mini sequel, I think is how people are viewing it. You know, From Software's expansions in the past have been very substantial. I think the assumption here is this will be the biggest one yet. And that's probably going to be the case.
Okay, cool.
I am a little surprised that we're like, already hearing maybe the possibility of a second expansion next year. But Elden Ring's the kind of game that it could just sell forever, like a Skyrim did.
Yeah.
So them supporting it makes a lot of sense.
This is also kind of the trend, I feel, for a lot of games is 2 major expansions. Like we see it scaling all the way up to like even Pokemon does this a lot where they put out the 2 expansions. I feel like I hear a lot of games doing that. We were doing the fantasy draft. Alan Wake 2 has those 2 story expansions listed. I feel like that's kind of the norm at this point. Like Elden Ring is a big game to be doing that, but I guess if they're going with the trend, why not?
Yeah, it's also the kind of thing where it's like, you know, they probably sketch out why that's worth it to them from the start, so it's built in. And then being like, okay, how can we make that bigger as the game really succeeds? And we can use that to carry the momentum forward. I bet that'll happen here. I bet this game will continue to sell for a very long time. And once both of these expansions are out, then you do a Game of the Year edition that has everything in there or whatever, and you triple dip and get people back in again. Set it to a slightly discounted price eventually, and then it just sells forever.
And Jana, triple dip beats a flush.
Triple dip beats a flush. What is a dip again?
We'll cover it when we do it.
Yeah, we'll show you.
Jeff Eckler's son.
It's the secret poker arts.
Oh, there's 3 dibs? What?
Oh, God, no.
Halo Battle Royale has reportedly been canceled after years of work. And I should have known this was going to happen because I just mentioned it on a podcast over the weekend. So, of course, it was going to get canceled. The Halo Battle Royale project, codenamed Project Tatanka, is reportedly canceled. The game's developer, Certain Affinity, had previously discussed the project publicly and mentioned in collaboration with 343 Industries it was going to evolve Halo Infinite. The project status was unclear, with rumors suggesting it may have shifted directions. Microsoft has been contacted for comment. They haven't said anything yet. This came up on Xbox Era's podcast. They mentioned they heard it was canceled. When you think about it, I don't know if that's too surprising, because do they really want to launch a separate? Because people talk about this like, it's going to be a mode in Halo Infinite. Seems like that's not exactly how it would have worked, because this was made in Unreal Engine, probably would have had to stand on its own, and then would have required a support team of its own for years and years and years, kind of no matter what it ends up doing, whether it's successful or not. And even if it's successful, that's like a big burden to carry. And right now they're building up Halo Infinite back to like a place where people are pretty happy with it. Maybe it makes more sense to just focus on Halo Infinite instead of dividing that audience. So I don't know. Is anyone here like bummed out you're not going to get a Halo Infinite Battle Royale?
Not particularly.
It never made a ton of sense to me. Like I was thinking about the environments of Halo Infinite, and it's a lot of, the Pacific wooded area stuff, all that. And I was just like, I don't know if I want to do a battle royale in that area. Even if there is cool stuff like the grappling hook and everything like that, I don't know. It always just felt off to me. I don't know if it necessarily would have been there if it's its own project, but just like the vibes of Halo Infinite felt like it wouldn't have fit if they were trying to go with that theming.
When I was playing Halo Infinite and I was going through that map, I felt kind of the opposite. I was like, I think a big 100-person shooter could make sense if you like lopped off a section of this larger map and let people just do stuff in there. But that was definitely informed by like having the grappling hook and all this stuff and getting around. And I don't know, I imagine just like, okay, hiding in these areas and getting used to the environment. But we did hear that this was a whole other engine was going to be completely separate from that. And I'm like, oh, that doesn't seem like it would be worth it.
By the way, devil's advocate for that, because since I'm one of the Call of Duty sickos around here, I will say there was an overlap period when MW3 was coming out where you would fire up the Call of Duty app. And if you wanted to play Warzone, it would behind the scenes fire up MW2 because they hadn't yet like upported it to like support all the MW3 stuff. So theoretically that could have worked, but yeah, it wasn't.
Sure, right. It, like that is probably what would have happened. It's just yeah, I think they start looking at it then. It's like, okay, then they need the separate support team and all this stuff. And I think all those combination of factors probably does drag it down.
Yeah.
They probably would have presented it as a mode, but it would have been its own thing in many respects. I don't know. For Halo, I mean, it is still in a tough spot. I think Infinite's a very fun game to play, but it's not like the top tier franchise game that Microsoft maybe needed it to be. What's next for Halo? They probably just come back and try to do another sequel at this point, right?
I think that's the move.
Yeah.
Like there's enough problems with Halo Infinite, and like you said, Grub, they're building back some positive momentum, but perhaps releasing that Battle Royale, and if it was like, poor state at launch, it would just kill whatever building momentum they had. What is it? Is it a numbered sequel? Is it Infinite 2? Is it 2 Infinite?
Yeah, is it open in the way that Infinite was, or is it more linear campaign the way? Yeah, I like the Infinite campaign. I thought it was fun.
I liked it a lot. I really enjoyed it. We should, that 4-player co-op got put in there. We never touched that. Maybe we should go try that sometime. That'd be fun.
Sure. Yeah, we talked about that.
I bet they kind of walk away from the openness a little bit, and they do go back to kind of level-based Halo. Maybe just try to play the hits a little bit.
Is it time to just make a game that they just call Halo 2027 or whatever?
Oh yeah, God, probably. Yeah,
probably. That time, right?
Infinite was supposed to be like sort of a soft reboot, and it's like, how do you reboot a soft reboot?
Give it the
my
same
heart
name as the
rate
first
or-
one.
Yeah, that's how you do
Put
it.
a year on it.
They would have to do something else. Yeah.
Stalker 2 has been delayed again. Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl, which I wrote down here as Chornobyl. The post-apocalyptic shooter sequel by GSC Game World has been delayed again and is now set to release on September 5th, 2024. So not getting moved out of this year, but just later into this year. The decision was made based on fan feedback after they received thousands of players testing results. And a lot of people enjoyed the game, but they said they want more time to polish it up and make it better. Of course, this is the studio that was in Ukraine when the war started. It seems like most of them were able to get out and have been out for a very long time now, continuing to make the game elsewhere. But obviously that put a huge kink in the works and caused many of the original delays. And now they're like, no, they have a game. It probably could launch, but they want to get to a certain level of polish, which is understandable. Stalker 2, a sequel to Stalker, a immersive sim survival game that people love. I've never played. I always intended to go back. But it has a lot of fans. Stalker 2 will have a lot to live up to, so I don't blame them for wanting to put the best possible foot forward there. The game will launch on, I believe, Xbox Game Pass on day one. Yeah, it does. That's what it says here. So people will be able to check that out when it comes. We'll see. Ubisoft boss says gamers need to get used to not owning their games because they're not used to that yet. Ubisoft sees a significant growth opportunity in subscription services such as Ubisoft Plus if consumers can adapt to not owning games like they do with other media like music and movies. The publisher recently rebranded its Ubisoft Plus service and introduced a new PC offering, Ubisoft Plus Premium, which is available on PC, Xbox, and Luna for a monthly fee. Includes a day one access to new releases, a sizable back catalog DLC, early access to title games or to select games, and more. And then has stuff like Ubisoft Plus Classic. Basically, the person who was interviewed here is the person in charge of Ubisoft's subscription service, and they said the point is not to force users to go down one route or another. We offer purchase, we offer subscription, and it's the gamer's preference that is more important here. We are seeing some people who buy choosing to subscribe now, but it all works. And then he goes on to say, in other mediums, it's been much easier to get people to move to subscriptions, but for some reason, gamers are a little bit more hesitant, and they aren't moving as quickly as anyone expected to. I guess mostly I wanted to just like check the temperature here. How are you all feeling about subscriptions versus buying your games? I want it to stay where we have the choice at all times, unlike we do like Netflix. Like, there's no guarantee you're going to be able to buy something on Netflix. I think that we've kind of already reached where I think most people are comfortable. Is that where you all are at as well?
Yeah. It's a weird comparison because I feel like there's a subset of folk, the music community and movie watching community that are getting back into buying physical. Like, I know on top of like vinyls becoming huge again, a lot of people are pushing to buy physical albums, and then same thing with movies now. Like, I have to pull my partner off a cliff of wanting to buy 4K Blu-rays of existing Blu-rays that she already has. And that's a slippery slope as well.
Yeah, I saw that video from a couple months ago, just this past week, of Kojima at Criterion going through the closet there and putting the movies into the bag. And I'm like, I want that for me. Maybe I should get back into getting physical movies, but no, I can't.
I do that with like all my favorites. So I probably got like, I don't know, 70 or 80 like 4K things. I'm trying to like do the thing where I'm like all my Blu-rays I'm getting rid of and bringing them to Goodwill and buying the 4K when they're on sale or whatever. And it's stupid because I did that when I went from DVD to Blu-ray.
Right.
So half of those fucking Blu-rays I brought to Goodwill were sealed, and now I'm just buying them all again on 4K, and then it's probably going to happen again. But I mean, most of the time it works. Most times you want to watch a movie, like even if you don't own it, you can go to Amazon and just, rent it for like a couple bucks or whatever. But like recently, Bonk and I really wanted to watch Near Dark, that Catherine Bigelow movie. We'd never seen it. We heard good things. We were on kind of a Catherine Bigelow kick. And it's like not anywhere on streaming. There was no way you couldn't rent it on Amazon or anything. I was like, all right, I'll just buy the physical media. And then I went to like eBay and Amazon and everything, and you can't even buy it. And so it's like on a rare instance, it's just like it becomes hard to watch something. But like usually 99 out of 100 times, if you buy it physically, you're good to go.
I think that does highlight an issue, though, with games in particular. And Jan, this conversation just killed him, I guess.
Yeah.
Games are quite frequently delisted or changed or
Yeah.
updated in a way that people don't like. And sometimes they become different games. Sometimes the games aren't available anymore. It is so difficult to just go back and play old games that there are people who see preservation efforts such as emulation as piracy because that's what they've been trained to do by these corporations. The problem is, all right, what's your solution? Like, how are we going to access this old media without it becoming lost to time? And that's where people are hesitant going into more subscription based stuff, not owning your games. Like, people are still getting used to owning digital games because you're quote unquote owning them. You're licensing them. You're not actually, you don't have a disc in your hand. That's why I still have a shelf of physical games. It's because for certain ones, I do want that disc. I want to be able to pop in a cartridge into a Nintendo system or whatnot. And so the fact that, yes, the industry will move towards streaming and subscription services and all this more digital stuff, but bro, you can't say that. Like, you can't just get up here and be like the most. No one will call you out harder than gamers. You can't say, boy,
Very true.
I can't believe we're not screwing these people over. Why aren't they, being saps easier?
Give us money.
You just can't say that on this level. Just like let it. The reason it happened organically for music and movies is because people let it happen, and they are now okay with just, I listen to music on Spotify. I watch TV on a million streaming services that cost more than cable. That's just where we are at this point.
Yeah,
Like,
I think it's the movies and music reached a point where they became commodities. Where for most people they were very interchangeable. Well, yeah, I have a favorite song, but most music I hear is something I'm going to listen to for a week, and then I'm going to listen to the next one. I'll probably listen to on the radio while I'm working, and I'm not going to think about it too much. And I think movies got pretty similar. It's like, yeah, I'll go see a summer blockbuster, and I'm just not going to fall in love with many of these. Games still kind of feel precious in a lot of ways, where it's like we get a game and it feels like a miracle a lot of times. And so I think people build a stronger attachment to games, and that's kind of been this defense mechanism between games and becoming the subscription fodder. Most people who have been into games have had to view it, because if you're into games, you have to view it in this way at a certain point because they're so expensive. Like spending $60 on a game, you only get to that point if you think games are special, and the next one might be the next special one for you. So I think that's been a thing that it would be risky for these companies to disentangle that notion that games are special, because then they don't feel then they won't be worth $60 in most people's eyes. We already saw what happens on mobile when that happened, that that race to the bottom there, and now mobile's been stagnant for a decade straight. So I get the people whose jobs it is to get people to sign up for subscriptions being frustrated by this, but this is actually a beneficial thing to your company overall, and probably something you don't want to undo.
Right.
Meanwhile, though, in the UK, retailer Game, which is like their equivalent to GameStop, is going to end game trade-ins. Game, a prominent video game retailer in the UK, will cease accepting trade-ins for physical video games starting February 16th. The remaining pre-owned stock will continue to be sold until it's depleted. Game staff across the country have been informed of this change. Customers with unwanted physical games are advised to trade them in within the next month. Currently, Game accepts most consoles, games, gaming accessories, except for retro items, which is PlayStation 2 and older. Trade-ins can be exchanged for store credit or gift cards. This is a little bit surprising. That's like we're at this point, but I start to think about it. I don't know many people personally that trade games in anymore. I know some.
My sister does, and I get why. It's like, games are expensive, and if you're going to blow through a game in a couple of weeks and you can still get, $30-$35 for it or whatever, I mean, that helps. So like, I see why my sister does it, but like the convenience factor of like not having to line up at a midnight release and everything kind of trumps that. But it's kind of a bummer, because I mean, this has been just another on the line of like the slow death of the way I bought and traded in games growing up. Like Funkoland was my whole thing growing up. It's like, all right, the Genesis came out, I'm trading in my NES and all this stuff, getting a Genesis. Okay, the PlayStation's out, trading in the Genesis. Like, that's how I was able to keep getting new games and stuff. Yeah. And it was it was almost like a fun thing, seeing like, the trade-in values of everything. And sometimes it'd be like, oh, trade in any 3 of last generation's games and you get one of the new generation's games. Like, it's just that whole trade-in culture was how I got games growing up. So just whenever I see one of these stories, and there's a million of them every year, it's just like, yeah, that whole kind of marketplace is just dead at this point.
Yeah, you mentioned Kayla does that a lot, and like up until recently, that's what I did too, because games are, like we just mentioned a little bit ago, really expensive if you want to keep up on the new ones. Like, I know I could wait, but my friends are playing a new thing. I want to play a new thing. And then I know there is playing a new thing. Well, I want to talk to them about that. And it gets pricey. So yeah, thankfully now, I do get codes for some games, and that definitely helps things out. But up until that point, I was 100% just trading in the new game while I could still get, like even 80% of it back, because that just makes things easier on me. Yep. And I think, to tie it into the previous conversation, subscription services are helping with that a lot, because if you can spend 10 or 15 bucks a month, that's basically what I was spending on games after the whole trade-in and like fees and shipping and all that stuff. I was basically spending like 10, 15 bucks a month on games. So I think that's sort of, we've shifted a bit. And I think that's why we're seeing stuff like this, like brick and mortar retailers not doing as much of this. It makes sense, but yeah, it is still a bummer because it feels like the end of an era.
It's like, as someone who spent over 8 years working for the GameStop Corporation, I can tell you it is not a business model that works anymore, and it hasn't for a while. So.
Here's a fun little subscription service I recommend to the folks at home that are budget conscious. Perhaps go to if you live in a major metropolitan area, this is easier for you. Sign up for a library card, and then...
Sorry, I just saw the talking.
Sign up for a library card, and then you can also get games. Most big libraries in your city do have physical copies of games. You can stay up with them, up-to-date stuff. Sometimes they're not day and date, so you may have to wait a week or so to get the newest hotness. But if something has a physical release, odds are it could be at your library, and if it's not at your library, go and request that.
Or even if, we have Hoopla now. Now you can get digital stuff. Yeah, now you can get digital stuff through your local library. If you have a library card, you can sign up for an account there and stream stuff, because if it's part of your library's catalog, you'll have access to the streaming version of it. Which is maybe where I found some Pokemon movies that might be part of a pitch that I have for you, Jan. Maybe we'll talk about some.
There's that Canopy too, which is like basically like a streaming service for video that is based, I believe, on your library card. And they got a ton of stuff on there. I was searching for an old PBS documentary by the guy that does all the PBS documentaries. His name is escaping me right now. About the making of the Brooklyn Bridge, and like how these dudes would go underwater and there'd be all this pressure over them, and like 100 people died or whatever. And I'm like, I'm never gonna be able to watch that again. I can't find it anywhere, and it was on Canopy. So I definitely recommend that.
Oh, here's the other thing: you don't gotta live in the city that you're signing up for a library card in.
Yeah, I'm still using my Colorado one. Yeah.
Like my partner's students wanted to watch a movie and it wasn't available at any of the local libraries here. So they just signed up for a Delaware card, and no problem there. And I guess the Delaware library had the specific movie they were looking for.
Yeah, there's no laws in Delaware. That's the best thing about Delaware. They don't care.
With Delaware.
No one knows where it is either.
It's crazy, yeah. The tax situation's weird.
Do you have anything incorporated in Delaware, Dan?
Like Fire Escape might be. Hardy set that up. I'd have to ask him.
I bet he did. I bet he did. That's fantastic. All right. Time for the Foam Stars News Hour.
Oh, boy.
A couple stories out of Foam Stars. Let's see. Foam Stars launches next month on PlayStation Plus. Square Enix announced that its 4v4 shooter Foam Stars will be available on February 6th as a PlayStation Plus free monthly game until March 5th. After that, it will be sold on the PlayStation Store for $30. The goal of the deal is to ensure a large enough player base from the start and quickly establish community. It has worked in the past. It worked for Rocket League. Do you expect Rocket League-like success for Foam Stars?
Dude, this game is a PS4 and PS5 exclusive service game that they're charging $30 for. You can't copy everything Splatoon is doing because that's over on the Switch, Square Enix. That's not going to fly.
Is this not even on PC?
Nope.
Oh, that's silly.
It's
That's
real
silly.
dumb.
That's not a good idea.
Yeah, I saw this in the run of show. I'm like, okay, thank God this is going to get some people playing it for a few weeks at least.
Yeah, we'll check in on it. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Although they do that one of the stories I was going to include here in the Foam Stars News Hour was they want people to stop comparing it to Splatoon.
Well,
but not going to do
them.
that. Not going to do that.
maybe
Yeah.
don't make a wet game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't make a game that looks a lot like Splatoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, wild.
Foam Stars will receive free seasonal updates over a year with new characters, maps, and game modes for everyone. That sounds like the kind of thing where it's like, let's just take some stuff out of the game and just add it back in later.
I don't know why when you began reading that sentence, I thought you were going to say Foam Stars will return. Like, where's it going?
It's going to the same place.
Wherever
that,
multiverses went.
Yeah. That's the joke I was going to make. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, the second story here. Foam Stars uses a little AI as a treat. Foam Stars, an upcoming PlayStation shooter from Square Enix, includes some AI-generated art. Midjourney, a generative AI tool, was used to create a small portion, what they claim is less than 0.01% of the game's album covers, which I think are things you can collect in the game. Sean, you played this game, right?
I have no idea what they're talking about there.
Okay.
I checked it out too, and I don't know what they're specifically talking about.
You paused.
Maybe it's just literally something that's like on the ground somewhere. I have no idea.
Maybe it's a spray.
Either way, it's like they were like, we're testing this out. The reason it's like, well, Midjourney definitely is just using a bunch of artist stuff that you don't have access to. So that seems like a risky thing to do. If they were like using their artists to create a treasure trove of stuff that they then trained a model on, that would be one thing. But this is not that. Midjourney is just a completely open thing that is taking stuff from all over the place.
You know why Square Enix would never do that, though? They have some of the best artists in the world who would not do
Exactly.
any of
Yes.
this.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
If I was if I was on Square's roster and they said like, all right, we're gonna dump all your work into and train AI, I'd believe in a fucking heartbeat.
Yes, I believe that is
we're gonna
something
train
they
an
will likely
AI
encounter.
to take your job from you.
Mhm.
Yeah, real cool.
They tried to explain it. In this instance, we experimented with Midjourney using simple prompts to produce abstract images. We loved what was created and used them as the final album covers players will see in the game. Everything else was created entirely by our development team. All right.
Do you think this whole year we're going to see more and more stories where developers and publishers keep trying to figure out where the line is that they can get away with? And then there's going to be blowback every time. Like, do you feel like this is on the level of like that NFT period where it's just like everyone was trying to do NFT stuff and everyone's like, fuck
similar
that?
thing.
And, okay. You think with the same like level of anger and blowback and failure, you think?
I think it'll be the same level of anger and pushback. I think the proof in the pudding will be, does it work and actually save them money? Because that's the thing they have with NFTs is it didn't actually work. And yes, it made them money, but it didn't make them that long-term tail money that they were expecting, where it's like, every time someone sells one of this, we're going to get 10% cut and we're going to be rich because it's going to make us money forever. And then no one gave a shit and the price of NFTs crashed because they were never real. AI could have real implications and probably could save them money. I think what they'll probably get better at is the framing around it, where it's like, oh, this is just a new tool in Photoshop, and this is just a new tool built into our other tools. And when you need to do this one little thing in your job, you press this button instead, and it basically does AI. But still, it's the same artist doing the art now as it was before, so no one lost their job. They'll probably find new ways to talk about it. But yes, there will be, throughout this entire year, this back and forth between developers and publishers seeing what they can get away with and trying to figure out where that line is. 100%.
Yeah, the difference is that AI can be used for good purposes and not just stealing job purposes, whereas like NFTs were just complete horseshit. So
for instance, like the way that like Hello Games, like procedural generation isn't in that same conversation, is it? Where it's like, like if there are elements of No Man's Sky or Light No Fire that are like procedurally generated, that's a different thing, right? Than or is it not? I don't.
Different branches on the family tree.
Yeah, it's all part of the similar spectrum, right? Yeah.
It's like Catholicism and being a Lutheran.
Yeah, sure. That's all Christianity. The idea with procedural generation is a human being programmed the algorithm that is then running and doing the procedure. there's an author behind the procedure still.
It's not scraping the internet and literally stealing others' art styles.
And that's going to continue to be the major point of difference, yes.
Okay, is there any blowback at all towards procedural generation type stuff, or is that just kind of an accepted okay, that's actually okay?
Well, there was blowback from gamers who were like, I like it when my stuff is authored. I hate procedural generation, but nothing beyond that.
Because this is just, a formula an algorithm that just some coder or team of coders programmed, and they're like, you're going to put up the art assets that we've created, the computer is just going to randomly assign them. So
got it.
No harm done there. The same way that would someone in the chat pointed out, it's even weird that we call this AI to begin with, but that AI generated art is literally just, we're gonna scrape Twitter, all these artists, who are putting their stuff out for free. We're just gonna scrape all this and then use that as a basis for generative art. It's so fucking weird.
Yep. Yeah, Nylox says they work in that space, and AI art is taking work from stock photo illustration sites, which took work from photographers and illustrators for the past 15 years. Jesus. So it's like it's a new form of what we've seen for a long time. Yeah, they will find new and innovative ways to take money from other people who deserve it. 100%.
I mean, the finals is doing it, and they've kind of been getting away with it with the AI commentators that are absolutely dog shit. Like anytime I boot up the finals, that's like the sour part of playing through that game of all right, I just wish these two would shut the fuck up because they're not real. So stop telling me these people are respawning.
Mm-hmm. I think on Game this morning I mentioned that I think people are going to get savvy to this stuff, and that the people that are paying attention will get savvy. The broader audience really doesn't care. The broader audience is still like, I just used OpenAI to write a job resume, and that ruled. And so you're not going to be able to reach those people.
The thing though, those people that are using OpenAI, ChatGPT to write a resume, write a cover letter, they don't actually have the skills to do the job.
Yeah, but but that's never stopped anyone in the past from faking their resume and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I don't care if you're getting around the job hiring process. I don't give a fuck. Do whatever you want. But yeah, I think most people just see something that's going to do some work for them that they didn't want to do anyhow. And then we'll continue to have this conversation. The thing in gaming is we can get very, very loud about everything. Sean said, gamers can have pushback against anything you say. That Ubisoft guy, that goes true for all this as well.
Like that, remember that Ubisoft Quartz that they announced, their big NFT marketplace. You're going to get the special helmet with a digit on it and all that stuff. Is that even active anymore, or is that wholesale abandoned?
I want to say it's dead.
I think they made $800 and shut it down.
Yeah, something like that. GameStop just shut down their NFT market. Yeah, GameStop. I didn't even include that story. And GameStop has just shut down their market.
Shocking! Wow.
Part of that is going to be regulation. Yeah, but the real thing is no one fucking used it. No one bought anything on that stuff. So yes, very shocking.
So even Twitter of all websites is ending support for NFT user icons now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Probably.
Wow.
They are.
Yeah, now we can't call out the idiots. Shame.
There's still a significant thing to find out who's an idiot.
Pretty easy ways.
If you got some people get blue checks and don't hide them. I don't get it. They give you an option to hide it. Why wouldn't you hide it? Are you actually proud of your blue check?
No, they are actually proud of it. That's the problem. Guess so. That's a whole other discussion.
All right, let's see here. The next Battlefield is going to lean back into destruction. Ripple Effect, which was previously known as DICE LA, is working on a new Battlefield game that aims to deliver the most realistic destruction effects in the gaming industry. Their job ad seeks a senior 3D artist to help achieve that goal. Ripple Effect is one of several studios currently contributing to the Battlefield franchise, which has undergone significant restructuring following the underperformance at the launch of Battlefield 2042. Destruction seems like it's back in a big way. BattleBits had a lot of destruction, and then the finals, former DICE people going on to make a very popular shooter. So it doesn't surprise me too much, but it also feels like, oh my God, you were the leader in this space, and now you're playing catch up again, where you're like, okay, we should go back to making destruction be a big part of Battlefield.
Evolution, baby.
Evolution.
Make a bad company. Put out another bad company.
Yeah, do that.
Yes, please do.
Is there any chance that that's what's happening here? That maybe this DICE LA team, the Ripple Effect, is actually working on Bad Company while DICE proper is working on the next Battlefield?
I don't know what the fuck is going on with Battlefield anymore, man.
I don't think they do either.
2042 or whatever.
Yeah.
God, that was such a mess when that launched.
It was.
Yeah, it's so what I always heard is like Bad Company is the one that they wanted to keep in their back pocket as something they can go back to and get people excited. There was Bad Company 1 and 2 like remasters in the works for a little bit. And then when Vince Zampella took over, he's like, let's hold up on that, because if we're gonna do that, like let's do it like we're gonna go really big when we go back to Bad Company. So that was years ago when I heard that. Who knows? It seems like they kind of have to get their feet underneath them with Battlefield overall before they could start maybe doing some more offshoots, but we'll see. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope did all right after having an initial launch where it was like, oh, this game underperformed. It's now reaching about 3 million copies sold, which is pretty good for like a strategy game on the Switch. Now, they did have to lower the price. The original game, I think, did pretty similar with far fewer Switches out in the world. But for a game where people are like, getting the 3 million copies sold is pretty impressive. I still have not played it. I own it, but I've not really played Sparks of Hope all that much. Did any of you guys ever check it out?
Off of it.
Yeah, it's good. Actually, I'm looking at. Did I review it for this website?
I
might
you
have.
Did.
Yeah,
that was
I did. I gave it 4 stars. Okay.
Yeah, I remember why I stopped playing this, and it's because of the new Rabbid they introduced named
Edge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Edge.
They really called the character Edge. That's right.
Edge. Yeah.
It came out around the same time as Bayonetta 3, right? And it had the same exact character in it.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
And they both had, like,
It's a good game. I liked it a lot. And I did not super love Kingdom Battle. I remember not beating it, but like Sparks of Hope like really got me.
Take-Two filed a trademark dispute over Remedy's new logo, saying it's too similar to Rockstar's. Now, they both are, but the Rockstar one has a star, and the Remedy one says fucking Remedy underneath it. So the argument here would be like, this is going to cause confusion for the consumer in the marketplace. That's what a trademark is all about. It is a brand out that you want to have protected so that when a consumer goes to pick up a product, they know the thing they're picking up that has that brand on it is definitely from the company that they're thinking of. That's why, like, oh, Mickey Mouse is in the public domain. Those ears, their trademark, is going to be protected for forever because they want to make sure that people know that's a real Disney product. Right. I think one way that's going to help people from knowing that it's a Remedy game and not Rockstar is it says fucking Remedy in it.
Different colors.
Okay, for audio listeners who may not have seen this, just like I did not see this up until just now, the Rockstar logo, as you know, is an R, a capital R with a star next to it.
Thank
the
you.
Remedy logo is an R. It's like a capital R with like ripples through it, so it kind of looks a little weird and funky, like you would expect from Remedy. And then below it says "fucking Remedy."
You know, do you think we're gonna get heat for calling Bombcast for Vengeance BCR? And then if we just make the R slightly bigger than the B and C,
they own R. Absolutely.
Wow.
This
fucking grow up.
The other thing here. Do you think that Take-Two knows that Rockstar is working with Remedy on Mad Max remasters? Like, they're doing that right now. Maybe you just call a person. Right? What's that?
Max Payne, right?
Max Payne, yes. Max Payne. What did I say?
Mad Max.
Oh, yeah.
I knew what you were saying.
Yes, thank you. Yes, that's just a brain fart there. Max Payne 1 and 2. They're doing that. They're making that right now. So these companies are already working together. I don't know. It's a bit strange. It's like, oh, Take-Two's lawyers maybe got a bit big in their britches for this and just rushed out and did this without thinking. Now, it's not like I don't think it's a lawsuit. I think it's just Remedy trying to get their trademark approved. And then there was just a dispute filed by Take-Two to say, hey, we don't think this should be filed because it's similar to our logo. And it's not that big of a deal, but also maybe you could figure out another way to make that work. Last couple of stories here. Dragon's Dogma 2 director says newcomers can safely dive in because the hero has amnesia. Yeah. The video game's going to do the thing. Basically, Itsuno, who's the director, it's like, no, don't be afraid. The character also doesn't know what happened in the last one.
Perfect.
And anytime a character in a video game has amnesia, I'm just so happy. I get so happy.
I get like so jazzed.
Yeah, imagine the first developer that thought of that. Like, okay, people aren't going to know what's going on in this world. And then someone says, but what if they have amnesia? So they have to have everything explained to them. And it's like, there should be a statue built to that person.
That person, if we're looking at the ripple effect, the butterfly effect, whoever invented the concept of amnesia. So the first person to lose their memory invented the roguelite.
That's right.
They're responsible. Look at that.
It's beautiful.
Follow the dots.
finally Capcom is backtracking on its DRM that it was putting into a bunch of old games because it didn't want people to mod those games. It was a really weird thing we talked about on Game Mess Mornings.
Yeah,
I like just kind of like threw this in. What happened here, Sean?
I also haven't. Other people have made videos about what happened here. Basically, my understanding is Capcom finally got caught basically with, because they've been doing this for a while now, a variety of different games, adding in, I forget what the name is of the DRM. Someone's going to tell us in a second here, but this has sort of been their fallback when they like take Denuvo out, is they'll take Denuvo out and then sneak this one in instead. So
oh, gross.
Crack. And basically some people in Steam comments, Enigma, thank you. Like, it started causing issues for whatever reason, and some people started calling it out, and that's what led it to being a big deal. I don't know. The whole thing is weird. First of all, fuck DRM in any way, shape, or form. But it's just, this is one of those stories that's a little odd to me, because, like, y'all, this has been there. Like, I get they might have been adding it to more games that they didn't want.
Yeah, Resident Evil 2 was the recent one that got it. I think that was the one that where people are going to pay attention because that's a very popular game still.
Yeah, well, I know they like alternate between it depending on how big or high level it is. Like, I think the RE4 demo had Denuvo, but then the full release had Enigma, something like that. I don't know.
Well, I'm looking at the Steam page right now for Dark Void, and it says incorporates third-party DRM secure ROM. But good news, it is on sale. It's $5 for Dark Void now.
Secure ROM. That's the ancient version. That goes way back.
I've been getting a craving to play Dark Void over the last week. I don't know what that is.
In the last week, you've been thinking about Dark Void?
Yes, in the last week. Me and Mike were just talking about it. But even before I talked about it, I'm like,
why did that come up?
I should play Dark Void.
Rocket Knight. That's why.
That's a jetpack game. Came up during Blight Club because we were talking about you should play a good cover shooter, and then I was like, I'm gonna play that vertical cover shooter, Dark Void.
I think of Dark Void every time I travel with Tim Turry because he still uses his fucking Dark Void media toiletry bag.
Hell, that rules. That's a power move. Yeah, Dark Void's got a great soundtrack at the very least.
Damn, should we play Dark Void?
Yeah,
it's not bad enough for Blight Club, but if we just want to play Dark Void, we can do it.
Okay.
Best Rocketeer likes. That and
GB plays Dark Void. Hey, listen, the GB plays banner, we could just play anything.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of it.
We could just play Tale of the Sun in 2024.
Yeah. How old was that game? Like probably like 28 years.
I'm guessing 97.
Older, younger than Sean.
It's a PS1 game, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Let me see. Yeah, it's PS1. 96. April 26, 96.
Is that older than you, Sean?
April? I was, let me think, 10 months old.
Jesus Christ. Disgusting. Actually, Sean, it's not for PlayStation. It's this other console called Duck Station. So it's very kind of popular with the kids nowadays.
Best way for
DRM now, though. So we got to work our way around that.
Exactly. That does it for the news. Jan, this is your show once again.
My camera's still dead, so I'm still using a JPEG of me in my old place. We're going to go collect some emails. And then we're going to go read them together. Maybe we'll get a quick round of poker in between. Who knows? I don't know.
Let's fucking go.
Maybe we'll just conduct mic checks in poker now.
Yes.
Oh, God. Okay. All right. That's good. All right. Well, we'll see you after a quick break with emails. Poker is now my new favorite thing. I'm glad that this has been documented within the span of 3 hours. I've become all in. I already have the visors in my Amazon cart. It's 2-day shipping. Don't worry, folks. It's going to be great.
Well, and Jan, you haven't played shoot poker yet, where imagine how good it feels when you know you've got a great hand and you got some fish on the line there. You got people you know you can get some money from, and you say all in and you get to push all your chips out physically.
Oh, man. That sounds cool.
Or that's the big one. The little ones too, or if you just want to do a little call or toss some chips out there, stack them up. Just physically, poker feels very good too.
Dear listeners at home, this is what we call being an enabler.
Yeah.
Recommend it with your friends.
I want to play with Jan. Yeah.
I call it being a friend.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There
you know
go.
what, Scott in the SF office? I will respond to your poker night invites. I will join in.
Oh, no.
Me and Scott tearing up the town. What department Scott works in? I don't fucking know. But I do know it's time for emails. Bombcast@giantbomb.com is the email address to send your emails to. You can send them about virtually any and everything. Tell us about what books you're reading. Tell us about what movies you're watching. Tell us perhaps about dumbest injuries, as Joe in Michigan writes in. Shouts out to Michigan again. In honor of Dan, what's the dumbest way you've injured yourself? When my wife and I were dating, I snapped my thumb trying to show off by doing fingertip push-ups. I was a piece of shit back then.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
She has to help me open Ziploc bags sometimes because I never got full strength back. Needless to say,
shit.
she's still very impressed. Love you all, Joe in Michigan. Oh, Joe. Oh, no.
Hell yeah, Joe.
I
Live that piece of
Definitely
shit
not
life.
that level.
got really bad tendonitis. Well, my tendonitis was reactivated because I was playing a mobile game for too long. I think it was called like Brawl Stars or something. It was
Okay.
Oh god, I gotta find it. But it was a dual analog stick shooter, but because it was like touch dual analog, that's what threw off my thumbs, I guess.
Oh wow.
Because like there's
I
no like
see.
pushback or whatever from
Yeah.
using shoot analog sticks. The digital screens fucked up my thumbs.
Yeah,
I had to go to
sounds
months of physical therapy because I was training every day to try to beat Tyson round 1 TKO. So and I still haven't really played it since.
Yeah, I was in like maybe the second grade, third grade, and I tried to jump from one end of the monkey bars to the other, and I would grab it and I'd hook it, and I did that like 10 times, no problem, like swinging it from one arm, and I looked pretty cool. And then I did it an 11th time and landed right on my shoulder, and I'm pretty sure I broke a bone then, my collarbone. But I went to Boy Scouts that night. And I was telling people, like the other Boy Scouts, like I fell down, I hurt it, and it hurts really bad. Like if you were to hit it right now, like the kind of shit like kids talk, like I dare you to hit it, would hurt so bad. And the guy just goes, like just hammers right on my shoulder with a full fist, and I was like, "Excuse me," and I just went out in the hallway and cried.
Oh.
It hurt so bad. It hurt so bad, and I'm like. Go tell my parents, and they got me. Like it was like the shit wasn't even like a cast because it's collarbone. They can't do anything.
Yeah.
It was like straps they put around your shoulders.
I had a broken collarbone once, and I was in a sling, and I was playing Soul Calibur against my friend Charlie, and we're just sitting on the floor playing Soul Calibur, and I was going full shit heel, just shit heel tactics, really rubbing it in, being a real asshole. I got some cheese dick ring out or something. I was like, ha ha ha, just being an asshole, and he wasn't thinking. He reached. We had like a metal bucket in the room. I think there had been like a stain or something, but there was like a metal bucket, and he grabbed it by the handle and whipped it directly into my freshly broken collarbone. And I just yelped like a dog whose tail you step on. And he instantly was like, "Oh shit!" Like I saw in his face.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Yes.
But we were playing Goldeneye with my friend. We were on the football team in middle school, and we all hung out at his house because he broke his leg. We're like, "Oh, we'll make you feel better." And we're playing Goldeneye, and I got pissed, and I just slammed my fist on his leg without thinking. His broken leg. So I suppose this is still a funny story about how I got injured, because then everyone else beat me up for doing that. So yeah,
those are
I'm trying
homies.
to think really hard here.
Yeah, exactly.
I've always been such a careful person. Like I've
That's what we
done
say
things
about
like, out of anger. One time I spiked a controller or something. But I'm trying to think. The only thing that comes to mind is when I was just, I was like 14, real dumb age. You do dumb stuff at that age. Me and this guy were like beefing hard over a girl, as you do at 14. And so for whatever reason, we were at a party and we did this game You ever heard of a game called tennis? Not in reference to the racket.
No.
Yeah, you walk up to a guy, you do like the predator handshake, fucking slap each other's hands. That's it. That's the quote unquote game. You take turns slapping each other's hands
while you're holding their
hand.
Okay, you're doing the predator handshake
Oh,
with
yeah,
one,
yeah,
and
yeah.
the other hand you
Fucking
slap them.
smack the other dude's hand, and the whole goal is like, who chickens out first, basically.
So it's like a bloody knuckles type thing, like just like a game of chicken type thing.
Yeah, a game of chicken. Like who
Okay.
who moves first. Again, I can't emphasize enough. I was very dumb, and boy, I stayed in that way longer than I should have.
Oh, sure.
Well, was the girl
Yeah.
impressed by either of you, Sean?
No, she thought we were both idiots. Now, granted, I was dating her at the time, so I guess I won, but people are very, very stupid at that age.
Oh yes.
Yeah. I definitely have like probably 10 other times I've hurt myself in really dumb ways, but I can't think of anything right now.
Yeah, I think there was a time where a friend like cut me really bad on the shin because of a knockoff Beyblade. And it was just that's
Sounds
just
like you just
embarrassing.
deserve it then.
Yeah.
That's just copyright
Yeah.
law working
Yeah.
its karmic magic.
Because let me tell you, like knockoff Beyblades, and folks can attest, they're part of a Beyblade is the weight ring to like give it some centrifugal force.
Yeah.
Some knockoff Beyblades would have like these little like little studs poking out, these little nubs that would, if they sparked against concrete or another knockoff Beyblade, it'd create sparks. If it's going really fast and hits your shin when you're like 10, it just shreds skin.
Yeah. I've
Anyway,
seen some messed up ones like they just had knives, basically. They just
just
had
little
really
knives.
sharp low points there.
Two things. One time I was trying to get the mail out of my mailbox while I was in my van or my car. I don't think I had the van back then. And so I reached down the mailbox and was getting the stuff. And then I started driving away while my arm was still in the mailbox because I was very stupid and kind of like it bent backwards enough that I was like, what am I doing? And had I like gone like 2 feet further, my arm would have just snapped in half. So I stopped myself from hurting myself, but it was very close. And that would have been real dumb because it's like I was fully in control of everything in that scenario. I
This
could
is
have
the
just taken
difference.
my arm out of the mailbox. I could have just done that.
This is
yeah.
the difference between you and me. I willingly got hurt that one time being an idiot. You were just like,
Just
Butterfly
I'm just
or
living in
something.
it. Yeah, that's my whole life. Yeah. The other thing, breaking news story. Epic is kind of doing a pretty sad and desperate thing and letting some meme game on there called Monk Island: Rise of the Beast.
Oh boy.
That I think is trying to be like that King Kong
that's pronounced
game.
monkey. Don't worry. That's
It is
monkey.
pronounced monkey. Okay. Yeah. Listen, I
Like
don't
return to monkey, as the kids say.
Yeah, I've never said the memes out loud. So Monkey Island: Rise of the Beast, and it looks like it's trying to be that King Kong game. And they have stuff like features include a giant monkey. It's good. An urge to play this masterpiece. 50,000 frames per second. RGB lighting. It's kind of pathetic, but I also kind of want to play.
Oh, it's free.
Yeah, I also just got an email that was added to my
Oh,
Epic library.
I just got that too.
Yeah. So
You see, this
Oh.
is genius because that Kong game, which by the way, Netflix gave us a DMCA over. Thanks, Netflix.
are you kidding me?
Over on TikTok, it's fine. It's just my work that got affected.
Okay, good.
It's genius because that game's EXE is named Monkey,
Monkey.
M-O-N-K-E. So they're
Yeah.
very clearly, yeah.
Yep. Well, I'll check this out.
Oh boy. Oh boy. We're gonna check out another email. This is a cue for the sandwich artists. This is from Jerry in Wisconsin. Hey bombers, this week Subway is rolling out new nationwide menu items: a foot-long churro,
What?
foot-long pretzel, and foot-long chocolate chip cookie.
What the fuck?
I don't know if this is
What?
for shoot. Since y'all are connoisseurs of fine dining and have a former sandwich artist on staff,
Hi.
I was hoping to get your thoughts on this foot-long trend. I would personally quit on the spot if I worked at a Subway and a customer asked for their tuna melt between 2 foot-long cookies. But I digress. What's the end game in this? Foot-long flatbread pizzas? Foot-long glizzies? A foot-long bowl of jalapenos for Grub's breakfast? Are there any
Ooh.
foot-long-ified items you'd buy at a sandwich place? Cheers, Jerry in Wisconsin.
Listen, food is better if you tell me it's foot long.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a shoot too, by the way.
yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's not like a bread option. It's not like you're going to be able to like put the sandwich on the cookie. It's just like a dessert thing. But this
Yeah.
is them trying to like reset the SEO because they boned themselves with that whole $5 foot
Oh,
long.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
they're like, oh, wait, prices go up over time, but everyone still thinks footlongs are going to be $5. And now they're like $14.
It's like Arby's 5 for $5. Like that
Yeah.
hasn't been that way forever. Yeah.
Right. But it's still in my head. And I think they're trying to like fix that here. But like, no, footlong means fucking churros, you idiots. Take that instead.
Did
I'm
you
like,
guys see
and I
the
probably
article
will.
I just linked in the chat?
I'm looking at it now.
I will check it out.
I'm looking at this picture. Oh my god, I want this foot-long cookie so
He
bad.
looks
I want
so
pretzel and
miserable.
cheese.
Yeah, like I thought in my head, I was like, okay, this is gonna be a really dumb gimmick where they make one giant cookie for the store or something. No, they're just making like really
tray.
long, like a tray of cookie, the longest churro you've ever seen, and a really long pretzel.
Subway's
I'm
cookies are
checking
pretty
DoorDash.
decent too.
Yeah,
Like,
that was always
yeah.
my favorite thing from Subway, actually, the cookie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's by far the best part of Subway.
Churros are
absolutely.
already pretty long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This isn't too odd.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess
that's
they're not like 12 inches, I guess. They're probably like 8 inches normally, I suppose. Well, listen, you don't have to give me that look, Jan.
I was giving that look to the
Other
audience.
thing than
I was giving
penis,
that look to
all
the
right?
audience, all right?
Okay.
They're
I was
not
jimming
on
the
DoorDash.
camera.
Nope. Can't order one right now.
Maybe
So
it's just
this
soft
says,
launch.
This Axios says it's, well, this is Axios Chicago, so maybe that's why they say Chicago. Is it nationwide?
I
Oh,
was just seeing,
debuts
like, late November,
nationally
early December.
January 18.
Oh, that's why.
Oh,
Sean
a couple
must be
days from
writing
now.
about it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
All
it says right there. Okay.
Well, we'll
shit.
celebrate later this week.
So that's not
Let's
Flight Club
expense
Day,
a bunch
shit.
of foot-long cookies.
We
For
can
the
do that
Rebeccan.
when we expense all our poker paraphernalia, like the visors.
Yes.
So we'll do
Yes.
it all at the same time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. What sandwich would you put a foot-long churro, cookie, or pretzel in?
Meatball
Tuna.
marinara.
Oh, that'd be good.
Actually, that would be good.
Yeah.
That'd
Like
be good.
the pretzel, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, the pretzel would be
Make it
good on
ready.
most of those. The pretzel actually would be good on tuna. I would actually eat that.
Oh, I am totally going to a Subway and asking them to use the pretzel as the bun.
Yeah.
It's
go
too
That
for
would
it.
be
small.
Incredible.
I don't care, Jan. We gotta make this work, dude.
Oh, man. I haven't been to a Subway in maybe 5 years. Am I about to go to a Subway later this week? Perhaps.
Subway's
Sounds
fine.
like.
That's fine.
I think the last time I
Yeah.
went to a Subway, Dan, was one of the last in-person San Francisco Game of the Years when we all got the ultimate meatball marinara.
That's right. And there was like that wet
Oh
bread,
my
that like
God.
super garlicky
Yeah.
bread. And it was a lot, but I remember being pretty good.
It was pretty good, and then nothing else happened that day because everyone else food comaed so hard.
But I think I got it the next like 3 days though. I kept getting it.
Well, you're built different. You're built superior,
built
Dan.
different.
That's right.
Oh man, that was an amazing.
Did we even answer the question? Like, what do we want to see as a footlong?
Oh,
Starburst. Just one big starburst. A long starburst. Starburst the long way.
Starburst the long way.
Perfect answer. Moving on.
Yeah. No notes. A foot long spaghetti.
I think that's a
I mean,
noodle,
that
Jan.
happens anyway, right?
Yeah, but just I want straight noodles. It comes out of the box straight and rigid. I just want to eat it
a
then.
12-inch stiff spaghetti noodle going right down the old
Jan
gullet.
just talking about eating raw spaghetti.
Listen.
from the box.
Listen, I
That's
remember
what al dente is.
pulling up to a one-on-one meeting with Jess, and then she was eating a box of pasta, and I was very confused of why she was eating a box of just straight raw pasta.
What kind of pasta? What was the pasta shape? Bow tie? What?
Fusilli, because that was a real silly thing to
Okay.
do.
Okay, Jesus Christ.
Okay.
All right. Next email is about permanent records. We got a bunch of emails this week, by the way. So shouts out to all y'all. We're not
Yeah,
going to get
thanks,
to all
everybody.
of them. I appreciate all of them. Even the mean ones, I appreciate because
Well,
you take your
especially the mean
time
ones.
to send them. So thanks. Anyway, this email comes from Pete from Calgary, Canada. Hey, Bomb Crew. On the Prince of Persia video, Jan and Nikki were talking about permanent records. I don't know how this works in the U.S., but students do have a file that follows them throughout school. Mostly it lives in a file cabinet in the office and gets copies of report cards, program modifications, such as how is this child's learning disability being accommodated, and records of contact home for behavior, attendance, etc. It follows you from school to school, and I believe has to be held for a certain number of years after you graduate, but beyond that, it's not much. The main reason that I'm writing in to the class is that we don't call them permanent records.
What do they call them?
And okay.
Hang on.
And I would like to hear Jan's reaction to their name. They are called the student's cumulative file.
But that's so long.
But in conversation, every single teacher I know calls it the cum file. Or just cum for short.
How's that spelled?
cum. The cum file.
Yeah.
He said it.
The first time I got an email from admin asking about a cum file was a very confusing day for a young teacher.
How do they know I have one of those?
Cheers. I hope all of your cum files remain squeaky clean. Pete from Calgary, Canada.
Man.
Oh,
boy.
boy.
Calgary.
Oh, man.
That's very good. I permanent file, but like no one looks at those beyond school, and probably not even like later in like high school. They probably had no interest in because that's like more work.
Yeah.
And like criminal files goes away after like 7 years, so I can't imagine your elementary school file does much for you.
You seem to know a lot about this, Grub.
Hey, listen. What can I say?
I mean, they definitely look at the permanent record of more recent years when you're like going into college and stuff like that.
Yes.
They'll look to like late middle school, even into early high school. But
Okay, that makes sense.
I'm curious about my cum file and seeing what's stored in there.
Nikki ordered theirs, right?
Yeah, Nikki ordered theirs, and I think they said it was 2 to 3 business days. So they may have their cum file in hand.
I thought it was a really long amount of time.
Yeah, I thought it was like a month or something.
Because I just got a package from the country. Yeah,
well,
it may have been like 20.
Yeah,
just leaving off a zero there.
Yeah, I think they're gonna get it like long after we all forgot about this, and then that'll be fun.
Good content.
You love when your cum file surprises you. All right. This next email is actually a pair of emails. Last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, we were talking about how Epic had bought a mall to convert into an office building. Well, Will and Ben write in separately to give us updates about the Epic Mall. Will from North Carolina writes in, "Hi, Bombers. Was listening to the Bombcast last week and realized I was driving past the mall. Epic bought bought right as y'all were talking about it. I decided to pull into the parking lot to see what had been done. Seems that, much like the Epic Store, this was another half-baked idea that had no intention of following up anytime soon.
Really?
Wow.
Only about half of the mall has been demolished so far, and the other half is still standing, and there's no construction equipment anywhere to be seen. A quick Google search shows that the plan was for new Epic campus to open in 2024, but when reached out for an update on the project in October of 2023, Epic still has no updates in what is planned and when it plans to resume work on the site. Cheers, Will from North Carolina." They also shared a picture, which is just a bunch of gates.
Why? I didn't even realize that they were demolishing the mall.
That seems stupid.
What's the point of fucking buying a mall if you're just gonna strip the land and build something else? Just use the old fucking mall.
Yeah.
Like, think about how
Retrofit
fun
it.
that'd be.
Yeah.
Just
You
like
could turn it into a Tony Hawk 2 level.
Oh,
or Tony
man.
Hawk, Tony Hawk 2 level.
Well, Ben also writes in, "Dear Bombcast, on last week's episode, you brought up Epic purchasing an old shopping mall to turn into a new office building. Fun fact, not only is that mall, Carytown Center, the mall my family frequented for multiple decades, but my father actually works for a company that was involved in the whole Epic deal.
Oh, wow.
He was there on site as part of the group giving the Epic team the initial tour of the property and had various anecdotes such as Epic employees riding electric scooters around and excitedly banging on abandoned storefronts and machinery so they record noise for their audio team.
Oh, that's fun.
My father remarked that he and his coworkers, who are all older men, suffered a bit of a culture shock from the Epic team, who are all 20 to 30 years younger on average. According to my father, who still works at the same company and lives 10 minutes away from the repurposed mall, there hasn't been much progress on renovations. While demolition apparently started in 2022, nothing really came of it, so the property is currently nothing but a wasteland of partially demolished buildings with no further progress in sight. I'll be, in fact, moving back to the area a few months later this year, so I should be able to see this astounding lack of progress for myself. I can try and send you guys some pictures if you want. Ben?
I do want that.
Yes,
That'd be
please.
cool.
Please, if you're in the
I
area.
want to stay on top of this story. Yeah.
It seems so stupid, especially if you're going to excitedly ride around a mall in electric scooters. That sounds so fun.
I mean, the good news here is it's not like this money caused them to have to lay off anybody because they spent it on this instead. Oh, wait, what the fuck? That's exactly what happened. This is baffling. I can't imagine spending this amount of money on something and then just be like, well, I'm not going to do anything with that. That's like okay, I was going to say epic misappropriation of money, but I'm just going to stop right there instead.
No,
sorry,
go ahead.
everybody.
You could say it. Go say it.
Well, no, but I'm just going to let that count instead. This is absurd.
Yeah, I don't know. What would y'all do if you bought like an abandoned mall?
I'd live in it.
Dead
Pickleball.
Rising Museum.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
Just like the biggest game of laser tag you've ever seen,
Yeah.
or paintball even. Yeah.
Okay.
I actually did that once. There was part one of the game centers somewhere here. It was so long ago I can't remember which. Bought like the building next door and then just converted this like abandoned large store or whatever into a laser tag area. So there was like multiple floors and everything. And that was sick.
Making it like an experience area. Obviously, you'd have to like make sure it was safe if you're going to do this for real. But like, yeah, a haunted mall for Halloween would probably crush. Would probably make a ton of money.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Make the first level all like a ball pit and let people jump from 2, 3, 4, or however many stories there are onto the first one.
That's never gone bad for anyone. Yeah.
From 2 or 3 stories.
You had to sign a waiver.
Not what I thought you were
and
going
there
to
could
say.
be ropes and shit like that. And yeah, I mean, but the
wasn't
whole
thinking
first
about the
floor is
waiver.
balls, so you'd be safe.
See, when you said waiver, of course, and now everything's
Yeah.
cool. I forgot.
We don't want to get sued. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dan, are you aware of the TwitchCon foam pit? I'm just curious if this is.
Yes.
Okay.
am.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Safety is important. People need to be
Extra
looking at
layer
things
of
that know
balls,
what they're
yeah.
doing. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why the whole first floor is balls. I get it.
The whole first floor is balls. Just like the level of shout outs this week. Folks, we're gonna punt on the shout outs this week. We gotta clap. I got meetings to go to since we had to start the podcast a little later than normally. Grub, what do we got going on this week?
I gotta say, one of my favorite weeks of any time of the year, the week where I no longer have to play a Blight Club game, and instead we're doing Mortal Kombat Mitchologies, Mike McQuanchi.
It's Mitch's turn.
It's Mitch's turn. For audio listeners, Dan, you can't see me with his hand that has a slight like Band-Aid on it now. It
It's
looks
a
like.
yoke splint. It's a shoot yoke splint. I need it.
And Yoke Splint could be the name of this podcast, Dan, Jan, if you need that. And then, what else we have going on? We're gonna have most of our normal shows.
Tail of the Grub.
On Thursday, we're doing Tale of the Grub. I'm going to be playing Tale of the Sun, which is an old-ass PS1 game that's very weird. All I know about it is that EGM gave it like a 0.5 or a 1 out of 10. And then Dan has played it, and it's like, it's actually pretty neat. So I'm going to be checking that out. And then Friday, a new video game is out. Jan,
Yes.
are we playing that?
Yes. The original plan was to do another
shifting.
VR UPF playing knock and perhaps poker. But folks, something comes out into early access on Game Pass this Friday. That thing being Pal World.
Shoot those Pokemon, Jan!
I'm going to load up and we're going to go to town. We're going to go hunting or maybe go hunting with, who knows? We'll figure
I
out
think
together.
a little bit of both. Yeah, look, column A, column B.
Is it multiplayer? Do we all need to download
Who
it? Or
knows?
There are other games but and I also think they've been free to play. I don't know if it's multiplayer, we'll all get in there though.
Like, I'm not into Pokemon, but if you gave them a bunch of guns, I might be interested.
God, what was that?
You watched the video where they're just like, there's a girl with like an AK-47 just unloading into the biggest Pokemon you've ever seen, and it's sort of just sitting there like, please don't shoot me. It's incredible.
Oh, jeez.
What was that like MMO we checked out like sometime last year with the shimmy?
The shoulder shimmy.
Yeah.
We should check back in on that.
Weird
at some
hammerhead
point.
sharks and what the fuck was that?
I feel like it's gonna be like that, maybe.
I think so too.
What the fuck was
What
that?
was that game?
I'm like about to go through my library of like 1,000 games to try to find it, but there's probably an easier way to do that.
Zootopia? No.
Come
on, folks.
What
Please.
is it?
Act as our brain. Another episode of Jeff's this week, I believe. Chimera.
Chimera. Okay, I can find it now. Chimera Land.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Chimera, I guess. Right. Chimera.
Fucked up character creator. Yeah.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
On top of that, Game Mess mornings popping off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We'll have an episode of the Voicemail Dump Truck on Thursday, as well as another episode of Bombcast Revengeance this Friday. Who knows what the topic will be? We'll figure it out.
It's going to be the Detroit Lions. Let's go.
There we go. We're gonna turn it into a sports podcast and then a movie podcast as well. We're gonna talk about Poor Things and then the Detroit Lions.
Woo!
Oh man, God, that movie! Y'all should watch that movie.
I'm gonna check it out. Everyone seems to love it.
I watched Gotti again, made by MoviePass, starring John Travolta. If anyone's been watching that.
What do you mean made by MoviePass? I didn't know that.
MoviePass put out Gotti, and it got a 0% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, but the user score was higher. So MoviePass's marketing campaign was like, "Ooh, big movie critic doesn't want you to see this, but the people love it." And it's a baffling, terrible fucking movie.
It's also baffling because doesn't MoviePass benefit from people not going to see movies? Why are they encouraging people to go see the movie?
I don't think they ever knew what they were doing.
Okay,
in any way.
God,
biggest Gotti fan I know, Dan Reichert.
John Travolta. What's the opposite of saying looks incredible in this movie?
Looks bad.
Yeah, it looks shit.
Looks
I think.
awful.
Looks not good. Looks not good. But you look good at home. I've been Jeff. No, I'm not Jeff. Oh God. Oh man, Gotti's got
dying,
me.
Everybody.
Gotti's got me fucked up. I'm gonna go play poker after this. I'm gonna teach Scout how to play, so we'll come up with strategies together. I've been Jan. He's been Jeff. He's been Dan. He's been Turbo Sean, and you at home have been great. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Giant Bombcast. We'll see you next week for another episode of the Giant Bombcast. And hey, there's a bunch of great stuff popping off on the site this week, as well as last week. So go check that out. We love you. We'll see you then. Kisses on the cheek, kisses on the mouth. Fold, call, big slides, the terms I learned earlier from poker. I'm going to remember them all. Bye.
Slides?
What was it? Big little guy next to the dealer?
Blind, small blind.
Close. The Giant Bombcast is brought to you by the crew's newest addictions. This week, poker.